Well, good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. This is Uncle Bruce welcoming you to another fun week of market action. Welcome to Stock Markets with Oh, how fun will it be? We're going to find out probably starting probably during the day tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to know just what the market thinks of the GameStop situation. There's a lot of speculation going on, a lot of wonderment, a lot of people asking, "Well, what do you think is going to happen?" Yes, we are. We're going to have some clarity, I hope, and hopefully some definite forward. What's the word I'm looking for? Guidance. How about we'll use that word today? Guidance. Anyway, I'm really eager to see what our friends at GameStop have in store for us. This should be a most interesting revelation. Of course, those of you who don't know, we will hear from the company. I think it's after the close Tuesday. They will release their annual financials, which will cover, I think, to the end of, is it the end of January or February? I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, it's the year end, and that will include the Christmas sales. And it'll also likely give us a pretty good indication of how well they did with the sales, the initial sales of the brand new Sony PlayStation 5, the new console, and the Microsoft Xbox. Those two came out in about November or so, October, November, which is usually how they do this. And then through, November, December, January. And even now they're selling very well. The catch, unfortunately, is the bad news, I guess, is the good news. Well, let me tell you the bad news. The bad news is there are chip shortages affecting deliveries of these consoles right now. The initial batches that came out in spits and spurts, a little here, a little there. Everybody's having trouble getting them. Amazon is having trouble. Best Buy, obviously GameStop, and Walmart and others. But the good news is that every system that came in went out at full price. There's really no price war between these various outfits to undercut anyone to get the business. I mean, you're just pointlessly giving away money for no reason. There are none on the shelves collecting dust, let's say, from what I'm told or from what I understand, which is great. And the other good news for GameStop in particular, they are, of course, selling accessories along with those consoles, and they sell, quote, other accessories that other manufacturers make outside of Sony and outside of Microsoft. And there's additional sales going on with stimulus checks going out. Customers have cash, and some are buying a new gaming system. I mean, they've got their bills paid and they get the stimulus check and they're going to Best Buy to buy product from Best Buy. So that's okay. We're talking about a growing marketplace where in the past, like with the Blockbuster debacle, the brick and mortar, the problem that Blockbuster had was multiple problems, one of which was the demographic of the customer that spent the most money at Best Buy. We're now downloading their movies online, and we're much more comfortable doing that. Whereas the old school shoppers, they were quite happy to go to Blockbuster stores as an outing and then walk around the store and look at all the different titles and so on. But that shifted over the years to the point where most of the business for Blockbuster and the entire industry went digital, and that was the end of that. Here at GameStop and in the gaming business, the gamers are getting older as the years go by, because gamers started gaming actively back in the 80s, the 90s, and these kids born in the 80s are now in their 40s. I get a chuckle out of that because I tell you I'm 65, and I'm now noticing gamers are getting into their 40s, and those aren't kids anymore. Used to be kids. When I was in my 40s, they were in their 20s, and we were wondering, when are these kids going to break this gaming habit and kind of, become adults? It never happened. They kept gaming and gaming to their 20s, into their 30s, and now they're gaming into their 40s. Their kids are gaming. It just continues on. So this pandemic has probably reinvigorated a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds who may have dropped off the map to get into gaming again because you're stuck at home, and perhaps you're stuck at home with your children. And one way to bond is to put out the old video games and get some new games, get the new consoles, and get the excitement level up in the house. And there you go. And so we're into a growing market as opposed to a shrinking market. The demographics are very good for the gaming business as these gamers age. And this is the thing that I think Wall Street also doesn't understand is they keep thinking old school brick and mortar, and it's the end of the game, it's the end of the deal for GameStop. These 30 and 40-year-olds who are still gaming, they can afford the brand new system and have the money for it. They're cash flowing now. They're full-blown adults. They're theoretically rather responsible financially. Again, that's theory. We know some that aren't, but they have more money now than when they were 18 and 19-year-old kids. So they can afford the nice chair. They can afford the expensive headphones. They can replace faulty accessory equipment quicker, easier. And because GameStop delivers within 24 hours, 48 hours, home delivery, they're just ordering it online. And that's what GameStop is counting on going forward as they convert over. And so good news for GameStop there. But the financials will come out tomorrow night, Tuesday after the market. Okay. So we'll wait for that. And then at 5 o'clock Eastern, so that would be probably just after the financials come out. The financials probably come out right after the bell, probably 4:10 in the afternoon. Then at 5 in the evening, 5 o'clock Eastern time, the conference call of all conference calls will be held for GameStop. This will be the most important phone call, probably the most important conference call that GameStop has ever had. And it'll be the most attended. The attendance level by world financial media will likely be the highest that GameStop will probably ever get, because there's so many media outlets that are curious to talk to management, get their reaction to what happened to the shares back in January, the short squeeze questions, reactions to where the stock is now on a secondary run-up. And of course, this is management's opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, to disclose to the marketplace, their existing shareholders and those who are not shareholders, who might become shareholders through these media outlets, the future. What are your plans for this company? And I've been concentrating on the shift from brick and mortar to e-commerce. That's where I have lasered my focus. Right there, it is just a revolution and an evolution from brick and mortar to e-commerce. That's where my head is at. Others, however, have even further ahead thoughts than I have, which again doesn't surprise me because I'm ancient. There are those who out there who are saying, no, this company could really get into crypto in a big way. There could be some real serious cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and others, ways for GameStop moving forward to be involved with this world. And that it's could be as simple as just the acquisition of some crypto by the company so that they can, in effect, sell product using cryptocurrency, accepting it. As more complex than that, tournament play, where you pay by crypto to get in to play in a tournament. You get rewarded with crypto based on your standing in the tournament, whichever tournament it is, whether it's a city tournament for, say, Cincinnati, whether it's the state of Ohio tournament of some kind for gamers, whether it's the Northeast tournament, or it's a national U.S. tournament, or it's an international wide open tournament. There's so many angles this can go. And then the other angle they talk about is the possibility of gaming and betting, where wagering might be done on tournament play for outcomes. And This is where an alliance with a gaming, some kind of a gambling gaming company might be put together, some kind of a overall sponsorship deal. Again, cash and or crypto based. There's just a lot of wonderment here. I can't get into into that area so much because I'm not the guy at this point that understand enough of it. Well, maybe after tomorrow's call, we'll have a better handle on what they're thinking there, if there's any thought to that. Because to me, that's further down the road, but I could be wrong. This could be much closer than even I can comprehend. We'll find out. But the area that I keep coming back to that I think the market can really sink its teeth into, and I'm hoping the investment community will sink its teeth into, is that this company is down the road a ways already to becoming an e-commerce kind of a company. They've added hundreds of products to their website for sale that they don't carry inside their stores. So their website is really growing out. They've hired folks to run the e-commerce side and develop the e-commerce side and develop the website and convert it and open it up so that the website at GameStop won't be that little sleepy, tiny little web page they've had for years and years where you can click on a purchase of an item and then try to go through the laborious checkout procedures to figure out how to get it to you and all that. They're going to just slick this thing right up. They're going to absolutely bring this up to a 2021, 2022 standard. And I think you'll register one time into the company's site. And from there, you do repeat visits and it's just click, click, add to my account, ship. Everything is the same. Thank you. Bang, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. 24 to 48 hours later, you've got the merchandise at your front door as ordered as you wanted. And it's done right each and every time. This requires money, talent, reprogramming, and it's all happening already. And I'm now waiting for any kind of an indication from GameStop's management of, well, how far down the road are you? How's it going? Are you a third of the way there? Are you half the way there? Do you expect to be 3/4 of the way down the road by the end of this year? What's your overall timing? What are your expectations? How are the numbers last quarter from online versus previous quarters and so on? How's it progressing? How much of a percentage of overall sales were online based on the fact that we know most of your stores were closed at one point or another during the year of 2020. We all know many retail locations were not operating, or they were operating in a limited capacity with curbside pickup through online orders only or telephone orders. How did that go? Where's it at? And what is your plan now for the next 6 months and a year with the store reductions? Is this going to be just a very gradual as the leases expire? You're not going to renew a bunch of leases and you're only going to renew leases in the hottest, most, biggest generating stores only? Or are you going to blow off an entire region? Are you going to sell the UK stores in one sale to another group to run it, where you guys can just back off and be perhaps suppliers to those stores, where you don't operate any of the locations? None of those folks are employees of your company or subsidiary thereof. They're all now under the umbrella of another operator that's a retail company. Are those discussions underway? Are we getting this right? What's happening in Europe? What's happening in Australia? What's going on in New Zealand? What about Canada with EB Games? A lot of stuff going on. There are balls being juggled here all over the place, and there's more than one juggler, I think. So we got a lot to hear from, and the world financial media, which covers TV, radio, podcasts, vlogs, blogs, YouTubers, and everything else, are going to be very keenly listening in on this. And the media that really are into gaming will be into it. Like every gaming media outlet will be on this call. Believe it, they'll be listening. And everyone will be interpreting what they hear on Tuesday night over the several days, over Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and over the weekend. All this will be regurgitated, absorbed, and speculated on, and then articles will go back out to these media outlet viewers, listeners, readers, to help them determine and understand what GameStop is going to be doing this next, say, 6 months to 12 months to 24 months. For you guys who watch me, and for those of you who watch the stock trade on the exchange, which, by the way, it's $199.36 on the pre-market. It's down 91 cents, so nothing's going on. Very quiet. Those of us who watch the GameStop shares, and those of you who invest in it, your future is tied to two divisions. There's the stock situation with regards to how many shares are really floating around out there and shouldn't be and should be restricted, and then the corporate side. And your insurance policy against the value of your stock ultimately will have to be the corporate side. There has got to be a corporate, there's got to be corporate activity happening that will justify that this stock, wherever it goes to on the short squeeze or the gamma squeeze or the failure to deliver squeeze, whatever you want to call that, the stock side, wherever that takes the stock, the corporate story prospects has to justify the price sooner or later, and or give the market an indication of what this stock really could be capable of being worth down the road. And at the moment, and for the last number of years, the Wall Street analysts out there have been afraid or unwilling, let's make that really the word, unwilling, to try to value this company on potential value regarding the e-commerce. And I can tell you why that is. Why is there no analyst for these major brokerage firms giving all of us an indication that, oh, the shares could be worth 400 a share next year because of their e-commerce? It's because they don't know about it. They don't yet know the minutia, the details of it. They need to be brought up to speed from the company, not from rumors, but from insiders of the corporation, to be shown, look, this is the game plan. We've already put a committee together here. Ryan Cohen is leading it. He's already in here. He's brought 2 directors in here from Chewy. We've started stealing people from all kinds of companies. We are on the way to becoming an e-commerce platform seller of gaming systems, games, accessories, and all kinds of other products. We may end up with 5,000 different products that we offer, that from soup to nuts with regards to electronics and what have you. It could go that far. And we're well on the way to doing that. And by doing that, this company will now probably generate half to 3/4 of all of its sales in the next year, and a year after that, and a year after that, and more online. And that's why the store closures are actually a good thing. The more we close the stores, the more successful we get, rather than more unsuccessful, because the Blockbuster comparison is always made. Well, you know how Blockbuster went every year. They closed out outlets, and that became a smaller company. And when it got to a certain point in time, it became so small that they weren't going to make billions of dollars anymore in revenues. They were only going to make millions, and then they didn't even make that anymore. And eventually, they disappeared from from existence after several sales of the Blockbuster brand to other operators who were trying to salvage it somehow. It never worked out. Whereas GameStop, what they will talk about, I hope, is the fact that we haven't sold any stock from our treasury to try and survive. We haven't had to dilute our company in any way, shape, or form to survive, even in the middle of a global pandemic. I mean, the worst combination you could be thrown is a pandemic where people can't go out of their homes, shopping malls close, we can't open our stores, we're not ruled an essential business, and yet we still survive to the point where we didn't have to dilute our stock to keep going. There are other outfits out there who've diluted their shares to an unbelievable amount of stock, and we have only got 70 million outstanding. That, to me, is a really, that's an A+ on the report card for survivability, viability, smart management, and now this complete conversion to the e-commerce. They figured it out. It was already coming at them, last year, but with Ryan Cohen on board and the shift to this area, the company got it a long time ago. Wall Street, coming back to the analysts on Wall Street, because I have to keep coming back to these guys. You cannot stop talking about Wall Street analysts. We need one of them, two of them, 8 of them. I don't care how many. There are dozens of these guys. Okay, there could be 200 analysts that cover Wall Street and are followed by hundreds of millions of people. I mean, this is a big thing. We need one of them to listen to this call on Tuesday night, look at the numbers, listen to the call, and say these financials are irrelevant to my analytic opinion on GameStop going forward, because I'm not interested in the 1999, the 2019 and 2020 numbers. I'm interested in the prospects for 2021, 22, and 23. And it's obvious to this analyst, I'll just pretend I'm an analyst, the analyst I hope will say they're going to make it. That number one, they're not going under. Okay, number two, they're going to do rather well, actually, because they're lowering their cost of being in business by dumping off these stores, by just letting them shut down at the end of the lease. Right there means staff reductions, rent reductions, property tax eliminations, legal fee interpretations, utility costs, handling costs, logistical costs. Some of these stores, they have millions a year in sales, but they only have a few thousand a year in profits, because by the time you take off the shopping mall rent, and you can imagine what some of these locations are paying. They have a 800 square foot store, 1,000 square foot store, and they're paying $10,000 a month in rent, $12,000 a month in rent, $15,000 a month in rent. It's basically a percentage of gross. And their margins are thin at the retail level. After you take all the costs off running the shop and the rent, you don't have much left over. So you may have a store generating, let's say, maybe 12 million in sales a year, which sounds incredible. A little tiny store in a mall cranking $1 million a month on average. But at the end of the year, the store is netting out maybe $50,000 to $70,000 for the company. You eliminate that store and all of its expenses, replace half of those sales, just half of them, online instead to a global audience rather than this little regional locale. And your cost of sales has dropped immeasurably, unbelievably. So you're bringing in, say, $500,000 a month in sales from the closure of this store, or, on average. You're going to make way more money per year than you made before. And you multiply this by 5,000 locations globally. This company's cost of being in business will be down to a quarter of what it has been. I'm just guessing on this number. Anyway, an analyst will look at this and break down the numbers and go, okay, I see what you're doing here. You guys are going to operate out of your warehouses, which you're just leasing. And the cost per square foot for your warehouses is like $5 a foot, $10 a foot. Your cost per square foot in a shopping mall is $200 per square foot. Okay, we get that. Your warehouses are going to be able to service, for example, in Canada, they're in Mississauga, Ontario, just outside of Toronto, the biggest city in the country. That warehouse will service the whole country of Canada. That's 35 million customers, or 35 million population of a country. How many millions of customers go to GameStop from coast to coast in Canada? It's a ton. Now they're all going to be serviced from the warehouse in Mississauga, from the staff only in Mississauga. There won't be 25,000 people working there. It will be maybe 3, 4, 5, 800 handling the whole country going forward. So in 2 years from now, there may not be any EB Game stores left in Canada. And if you want to order something from EB Games or GameStop, you're going to do it online. Click, 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 and within 48 hours, 72 hours, you got your product at your front door. The margins are going to skyrocket. In the United States, you've got Grapevine, Texas. You get the warehouses there. The head office is there. The warehouses are there. They'll be able to handle the entire USA from those warehouses. So you're in Maine, you're in Washington State, you're in Florida, you're in California. There's the four corners. You're in Alaska, Hawaii. We got you covered. You're everywhere in between. There may be a number of stores left in the US that are super centers, or they might become like Apple type stores, big centers. These analysts are going to go, hopefully the analysts will go, okay, you're servicing 350 million people from maybe 500 locations instead of 3,000 locations. I get it now. Your prices aren't any cheaper. There's not lovely margins built in. And then the other thing about it all, same for Australia and Europe, I'm going to repeat, but at the end of the day, the company is going to say, yeah, we're selling these, we've got these new gaming chairs that came out from company blah, 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 and they're the hottest thing because of this and that and this and that. We don't stock these chairs in our company. Number one, we don't have 5,000 locations to send the chairs to. So one, we have to buy any up front, ship them to our stores, do all the handling to get them there. The cost of shipping a chair that's 20 pounds is expensive. Now what we do is we promote the chair on our website, and the chair is going to be prominently displayed on our website depending on how much money the chair company gives us to get the real estate on our website. In effect, they're selling ads on their website to sell product to their in-house clientele globally before they're already making money before they even sell a chair. Now there's orders for the chairs coming, and they offer this chair, they show it off, and it's like a 2-week promo, and starting November 1 in 2022, this chair is available to you. Well, all through August, September, October, they're taking in orders, and they have 10,000 orders for the chair globally. And they then tell the manufacturer, all right, we'll take 2,000 chairs for Canada. We'll take 2,000 for Europe. We'll take 1,000 for Australia. We'll take the rest for the US warehouse. These are already pre-sold. We already have the money for all these chairs at full retail in our bank account because we've been selling them off, showing off videos on how the chairs work. They've had advanced gamers have advanced reviews of these chairs for weeks. They've posted that video on their gaming site. All the gamers want to be, like the top gamers out there, and a bunch of these guys are going to want the chair. It might be even orders for 50,000 of them. Could be an order for 100,000 of them. It could be 10,000 a month for 5 months in a row, whatever the number is. GameStop never orders product going forward unless it's pre-sold. And because they're ordering in such bulk, and of course the manufacturers teamed up with these guys to promote on their site, they're getting a deal on these chairs like they would never have had before if they were ordering 15 for this store and 5 for that store and all. No, it's now a bulk deal. Go to these warehouses. They arrive on pallets. The pallets get opened up, and the chairs immediately get repackaged. They just take the box with the chair in it, slap the label on it, and ship it off. And they add any other merchandise to the package if there's a multiple item order, which there could well be. Order this chair, get 10% off all these games, and then people order 5 more games. They put the games inside the box with the chairs, and off the whole thing goes. Woohoo! We're talking. This company, an analyst is going to go, oh my God, I can't. This is all. I didn't know this. This is completely different. I thought when they said e-commerce, I thought they were going to be like Walmart, that they would sell a game to a kid in Cincinnati, and they'll sell a headphone to someone in St. Louis, and then there's that, sure. But then there's the launches, the product launches, the new games coming out, the new systems, the new everything, and tournament play, and esports tournament play, and on it goes. I'm still totally scratching the surface. Back to the analyst. The analyst is going, I'm just doing the numbers here. You guys are closing the stores. You're going to sell everything out of warehouses. You don't have inventory in the warehouses of any serious degree. I mean, your inventory costs will go down to 1/10 of what you have now, because every store has to have inventory in it. You can't have a person walk into a store with nothing there and say, I want to buy a Sony game system, and the guy goes to the back and comes out with a box. I mean, you could do that, I guess, but I mean, really, you got to have games and accessories and stuff. The store's got to look full of stuff. Not anymore. Now, what looks full of inventory is the website. The website is full of inventory. That's where you see all the photos and all the explanations and all the details of all the product, blah, blah, blah. That's what looks full. And that's the secret of Amazon. That's the secret of other online sellers. Well, now, the GameStop people in the gaming area, this is going to be their world. And the good news for GameStop is they don't have to train they don't have to train their customers on how to order online. They're cutting edge buyers online, because the GameStop customer isn't 75 years old. It's not like you're trying to get a 75-year-old to buy stuff online that's never bought online before and doesn't trust computers. We're talking about the generation that's growing up with this whole thing and is completely fitting in like this, and it's global. So yes, gaming systems will be sold to India. will be sold to Indonesia, will be sold to Vietnam, will be sold to Thailand. And these kids over there will pay American dollars to get these systems because it's cool to be a GameStop customer in Indonesia. It will be cool. And you want to have the American-based whatever game and this and that. Of course, it's the panache that works. It's what Apple has. It has this panache that this thing right here is actually considered an American product by overseas purchasers. When those of us who study Apple know this isn't made in the United States. This is made in China. All this is made in China. It's designed in the United States, and it's an Apple corporation based in Cupertino, California. They don't have a factory in Cupertino making this stuff. It's all made by hard-working laborers in China who don't get American salaries. Well, the same thing with GameStop. They're selling an Americana kind of thing globally. It's games, and if the game you're involved with has a U.S. spin to it, it's it. That's the one they want. In any event, global sales for a company with warehouses around the world and no more 5,000 or 5,600 locations. And so the analyst will finally go, okay, all right. I will grant these guys the ticket that, yeah, you're going to be an e-commerce company, which means we're going to value the potential of the company on an e-commerce platform basis. And that's when you compare this company to Chewy, Amazon, eBay, and other online entities. And you quickly come up with a whole new valuation of this company going forward. Again, it's potential because we're waiting Tuesday night to hear how far down the road are you? And how far down the road are you going with this? I have my ideas how far down the road they're going with this, but they may have ideas that are beyond even my thoughts and wouldn't be surprised at all. And so that if analysts out there go, oh, yeah, okay, there's the online selling, but then there's this crypto thing, and that's international, and that's exploding. These guys, they don't have to worry about Amazon competition elsewhere because they're gaming central. This is where gamers will go. This is the mecca of gamers. It's the GameStop website, and there will be the Pakistani website, the Indian website, the Indonesian website, the Thailand, the Japan, the other countries, domestic websites and their language and everything else. With their gamers, it's an international deal that they're going to control out of Grapevine, Texas, and elsewhere. And now the question is, okay, valuation of this company a year from now, what could it be? Could it be equal to Chewy? That's between $30 and $45 billion. That puts the stock between 400 and 600. Is it going to be valued like, could the company be double Chewy because of its growth prospects? It'll have, it's already got billions in sales. Now they will have, can they get to 8 billion in sales, 12 billion in sales, 15 billion in sales, 18 billion in sales in the next 5 years? This business is a $240 billion business now, growing at 10 to 15%. So every year it's growing 30 billion in size minimum. In 5 years, this is a $400 billion business. How much of the business can GameStop get? Can they get 15 billion of a $400 billion market? Can they get 16 billion? That's 4%. Can they get 4% of a $400 billion market, being US based? Strong Canadian presence, European presence, and Australian presence already. So they got a good chunk of the English-speaking gaming network covered. Can they get a little more, just a little more elsewhere in the next 5 years? I think the answer is yes. And so the thinking then is, gee, in 5 years, this company with 16 billion in sales could be perhaps a 160 billion market cap company. Okay, well, what does that mean for shareholders? I mean, that's what they ask me all the time. Bruce, where's the stock going to go? How high can it go? Is there any future for me? If the company reaches 45 billion, which is triple where they are now, it's a $600 stock. They go 10 times that much, it's a $6,000 stock. So now we're looking at between 600 and 6,000 in the next 5 years. Those are goalposts that are so far apart from each other. No one can say, oh, Bruce said exactly this, that in year 4, the stock will absolutely be at that level. I'm just giving you the possibilities and the parameters of the corporate side as I understand it. And I have not factored in anything from gaming revenue, digital gaming sales, royalties they're getting now from Microsoft for online business. They're already getting this now. They're going to get into that. I'm not talking about tournament play. I'm not talking about wagering. I'm not talking about additional membership opportunities. I'm not going any these other 15 areas that exist here. I can't go down those roads because I can't explain it to you because I don't know it. It's not because you don't understand it. I don't understand. I'm only talking to you about the basics, and I'm back to square one. Question: how much of this stuff can they sell online in the next couple of years? That's it. That's it. That's all you got to know. That's all I want to know. Just show me the money, show me the flow, show me the lower cost of being in business, show me the higher margins, tell me the gross numbers that you can get, and where do you think you're going to be at? Everything else you're doing is gravy. And if that adds, for every one of those things, adds $100, $200 a share to the value of the company in the next 5 years, that's fantastic. That's just great. I want to know between today, March the 22nd, 2021, and say the end of this year, December 31, 2021, show me what you think the company is going to be doing between now and then and how far down the road they're going to be. So give me an idea of maybe where these shares could be valued at between now and then. And then by the end of the year, if you tell me that you think you can be at this level here, I can then look forward from there and go, okay, well, in December, there'll be analysts talking about 2022 and 2023 prospects because that's what they do. They always look forward. So when they look forward in December of this year for GameStop, are they looking forward from where the stock is now at, say in December, they're worth 500 a share, 800 a share, 1,000 a share? Where are they trading in December of this year to then look forward to the next 2 years beyond that? Is that where one of them says, well, based on this, this, and this, these guys could be 3,000 to 5,000 a share in the next 3 or 4 years? I don't need to hear that today. I don't need to hear that on Monday or Tuesday night. I need to hear the basics about where are you at now? How much have you shifted? Because you have shifted a lot, no question about it. How much is in digital now, and where do you expect digital sales to be by the end of the year? And how far down the road is this website going to be developed with these offshoots that you're going to do? Give us a picture. Give us an idea of your thoughts, because you're the guys doing it. I'm just the guy commenting on it in plain English as best I can for my viewers. Let's see what gives. The stock right now, $200.39. It's actually up 13 cents right now at $200.40 in the pre-market. Yeah. Am I excited for the company? Yes, I am. I'm very excited for this company. I really like the management shifts going on here. This is revealing everything to those of you who are shareholders. You want to know who's at the wheel, who's running this show, and is that person or persons qualified to run the ship where they're sailing it? I think they are. I think Mr. Cohen and his group are exactly the kind of people who should be running this company going forward. They're in their 30s. They're experienced in e-commerce. The Chewy company has been very successful, very much loved by pet owners. E-commerce only. These are the exact people to take this company. They're the exact age group because they're gamers. They themselves are gamers. I mean, this is the win-win here that I see. I don't see a 65-year-old or 70-year-old guy running GameStop that hasn't ever picked up a game and doesn't know what to do about it. We're talking about the guy who's running this whole division is a gamer with his buddies. They're all in. They know exactly this business, the product line. You don't have to educate these guys on how any of this works and what the potential of it is. And all the customers who are going to buy this product, none of them are going to be needed to, you'd have to hold their hand and guide them through how to order online. No, they're buying online like crazy already, and it's just seamless, completely seamless to me. This is where I like it. And I also like the idea that you're taking probably 50 million existing customers who you have all the emails for down the road to e-commerceville. And you're just sending in emails every week. Here's the update on our website. Here's the latest news from the industry. Here's a video for you, a review of this item that you might want to have in your house as a gamer, as explained to you by this gamer who you all know and respect, this individual is going to show you the latest gaming chair, the latest headphones, the latest I can't even tell you all the items because again, I'm out. I'm 65. I'm out. But back to plain English, these guys are on a roll, and I think these guys are totally not understood at the moment. And I'm looking forward to someone at Wall Street, someone or a group of analysts, 15, 20, or a bunch of bloggers, a bunch of vloggers, a bunch of gaming magazine type vlogging outfits, any television network. I don't care which one it is, whether it's CNN, whether it's NBC, whether it's CNBC, MSNBC, Fox, someone somewhere is going to do a report on what GameStop said tomorrow night. And maybe that'll come out Wednesday when they review the call and 5 people are sitting around a conference table and there's a 60-year-old producer, director, and a 45-year-old senior vice president marketing or airing. And then there are 4 30-year-old interns or a reporter or 2 who are going to go, we heard something last night that's really cool. And these older guys are going to go, what? And they're going to go, GameStop. And they're going to go, oh, what about GameStop? And then they're going to explain to these old farts, which I'm one, the magnitude of the announcement of GameStop's plan to convert their company into this world. And they're going to get these 65-year-old senior network people to the point where, oh, okay, we'll do a story on it. Okay, go do a story on it. you kids, you kids. And then they'll come out. You're going to have a 32-year-old reporter with a 30-year-old cameraman and a 35-year-old sound person and 20-year-old something interns. And they're going to write the script and they're going to deliver a story to the 20 to 45-year-old audience out there. They're going to say, GameStop, future, big, unbelievable, all different. And all the viewers in that age group will go, oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Oh, sure, I get it. I got to buy some of this stuff. Because all I heard was in January, there was all kinds of stock manipulation and Congress had an investigation about it. There was something bad going on with those small little investors. I maybe should buy some of this stuff because, boy, this is I hadn't heard this before because all I ever hear on network television and in certain media out there is this company is a blockbuster in slow motion. It's just going to die like Blockbuster died. That's all I've ever heard. And now I'm not hearing that anymore. Now I'm hearing this story. That's what I'm waiting for. That's why I'm here every day, just to let you in. So anyway, there's the GameStop update. 201 on the stock right now. It's up a little bit. It's 142,000 shares traded. Very quiet. Not going anywhere. Not going down. I don't see that. Will it go up? Maybe. But between now and tomorrow and Wednesday, I think Wednesday will be quite the day. I think we'll be quite the. We're going to have quite the party here. I think. We'll see how this all works out. Anyway, there you go. On that one. All right. Welcome everybody to Stock Markets with Bruce. It's Uncle Bruce here from Creston, British Columbia, here in Canada, the West, just north of the Idaho border. And we're following the markets and following stocks and trying to explain what's happening to you folks out there in real English, what's going on. The Dow, it appears, will be off maybe 27 points in the futures market in the next few minutes. We open up in about 17 minutes. The S&P is up 6.5 points and NASDAQ is up 90. So we have a mixed market today, which is what we've had lately, I guess. Nothing serious up or down to worry about. Crude down 13 cents a barrel. Again, nothing burger there. We'll see what's going on. Interest rates are not necessarily dominating the news today, except if you live in Turkey. In Turkey, they have a little problem. They've got a guy who's kind of like, what would I call this guy? Oh, a dictator. They got a guy who's a dictator who has, in effect, became prime minister, then figured out a way to become president, and figured out a way to become almost president for life so that there won't be another election to rule on this guy. He's kind of ruling. He's got this thing wrapped up. And there are 80 million people under this moron who have to, live under his dictations. And he decided that he didn't like what his what his top banker was telling him to do. I was telling in Turkey they have, just like in the United States, they have a Federal Reserve for the country. Most countries have, head of the national bank. Well, the head of the national bank in Turkey, he didn't like this dictator, didn't like what this guy was doing, because what the guy was doing was what he had to do regarding currency fluctuations, interest rates, and perception of Turkey's economy to the rest of the world. Well, this dictator has this thought that Turkey is great because I'm running it, and I've jailed all my political opponents, and anyone in the press who dares cover anything that I don't like, they're jailed for life. And so I have no opposition anymore. They're all in jail. Everyone else who is in opposition is afraid to say anything. And so I have the vision of this country in the palm of my hand. And in my humble opinion, Turkey is the greatest country on the planet. Except for one problem, of course, the international business community is going, no, we don't think so. We don't think you're the greatest country on the planet. Matter of fact, we think you're a basket case. We think your economy is a complete basket case because the amount of bribery and graft going on over there, it's impossible to deal with. And the other problem that we find in Turkey as business people is that if we try to make too much money, you guys come in with new rules and taxes to confiscate our profits. We don't think this is the greatest thing ever. And so a lot of capital is leaving the country to get out, and people are offloading the Turkish lira and converting into any other currency they can get their hands on, which is euros and US dollars, of course, Swiss francs, and so on. So anyway, the banker was trying to, hold the value of the lira against other currencies, and he's putting in banking policies, that perhaps restricting lending or keep maybe having to raise rates a little bit. And this dictator is going, oh, no, that's not how that's going to work. This country is in great shape. We've got to have the best economic circumstances in our country because, after all, I'm running it, and it's got to be perfect because I'm in charge. And so he fired this guy. And they're now bringing in another guy who's going to be some lackey who will do whatever this guy wants. The international community is going, that's it, we're out. And the lira dropped 10% in value this morning. It's just 1/10 lower. Every citizen of Turkey will now find that the cost of living in Turkey will go up by 15-20% because all imported goods just became that much more expensive. And plus the Turkish tariffs and duties and customized fees on top of prices will just skyrocket inflation in Turkey to an unbelievable level. Could be 20% inflation later this year. Mass unemployment, complete chaos, and the economy will continue to collapse, which means that people will take their diamond rings, their necklaces and earrings, and any jewelry they have, and they will sell it to dealers there, and unfortunately will be paid in Turkish lira. They will then go to the black market and attempt to dump this useless lira for real currency, and perhaps even try to digitize their money and send it offshore and get it out of Turkey, because you don't want to keep your currency inside a country that is going into a spiral of economic death. And that's where Turkey is headed right now. But, you ask the dictator how it's going, it's all great. It's all fantastic. I control everything. I control the courts. I control the jails. I control the media. I control the bank. It's all fine. It's all good. It's all, no problem. Because on his plate at dinner time is the finest food. And for his friends, the finest standard of living money can buy. But unfortunately, 80 million Turks are beginning to run into a bit of a problem. And I think that as the year goes on, it could get worse. And then eventually you'll have martial law to keep everything in order here, because after all, those radicals who are coming in from outside this country are trying to upset everything. You'll eventually have a complete chaotic breakdown. So you're thinking of going on a holiday in Turkey? Think again. You might not want to go to Turkey at all. You certainly don't want to fly through the airport in Turkey, Istanbul, to connect elsewhere. Go elsewhere. You may want to avoid that part of the European Asia area. Because it's just a little unstable right now, and this is only the beginning. I'm only telling you the beginning of the unwind. You know what happened to Venezuela? If you follow that at all, Turkey is headed that direction, because you got a guy who's not an economist. You got a guy that doesn't believe in free speech. He doesn't believe in any kind of criticism, and so you speak badly about this guy, you're in jail for life. And I don't know if you've ever watched any movies about what life is like in a Turkish jail, but I don't think it's all that pleasant. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyway, that's the economic news of the day there. As bad as it is where we are, it's not that bad. Oh my gosh, that will be an interesting story to follow for the rest of this year, because Turkey is not a third world country. It's not like a country that doesn't have telephones and internet and cars and electricity everywhere. They do. It's a very advanced area. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people. I mean, the people, I've got a problem with Turkish people. They're fantastic. Just have a problem with a guy who kind of, is a dictator and runs the show. I've always found it fascinating when he came to Washington back in, what was the first year of Trump's presidency? He came to visit Washington to see his fellow strongman, Mr. Trump. And driving back to the Turkish embassy, there were all these demonstrators, American demonstrators, holding up signs. And this guy unleashes his secret service, his secret police on these people with clubs to beat him up. This is in Washington, in the United States, and no one got charged. No one went to jail. As a matter of fact, the protesters, I think, were charged with disorderly conduct. How dare you take a punch in the face like that? We're going to charge you with disorderly conduct. It was unbelievable. I just kind of went, wow, I can't believe that's happened. But it didn't happen. Yeah, this guy thinks he's invincible, and now the economic world is kind of showing him, you're not that invincible, because right now we've dumped you by 10% on your currency. I would say in the next 3 or 4 months it'll drop another 30%. And then another, and eventually the Turkish lira will be worth 20 cents on the dollar. That what it once worth. Not good. Not good for the folks in Turkey. They're going to find that everything is going to double and triple in price because their liras are not welcome anywhere. And so, scary stuff. For the black market, guys, lots of money to be made. Desperate Turks trying to offload their currency for dollars. They're going to just be able to acquire dollars at an official rate and unload them at a black market rate. Margins are great. Life is good. So yeah, there'll be winners. There'll be losers. And then there's the dictator who's in charge because he can't be kicked out. It's a lifetime position. Good luck with that, kids. We'll see how that plays out. GameStop 203.50 up $3.23. Why? I don't know, but I'm happy for it. So there you go. 6:21 is the time. We have 9 minutes to go before we open. I want to thank all of you for joining me here today. Thank you for becoming members. Those of you who've become members in the last week of this channel, you'll notice that our comment section here is hopefully not riddled with all kinds of hate and attacks on myself or yourselves. We hope that we've been able to clean that up a lot by putting in a paywall. So if you want to make a comment, please be a member or make a super chat donation, but please be respectful. And everybody here, I think, is, and I'm so glad for that. Those of you who become members of this channel, I appreciate it very much. You may have noticed there's a couple new emojis available for you this morning. We added some more over the weekend. We got more coming. We also, in the near future, you're going to start getting the odd video from yours truly for members only. And don't be surprised at any time. You never know when Uncle Bruce will come up with perhaps a stock you may want to look at, a stock that Bruce finds interesting and that you might find interesting. You'll get advance notice being a member of this channel on any new stock picks that I come up with. You'll have a couple of days before the market finds out, or the channel as a whole finds out what I'm following. And you might be able to take advantage of that with a little early move. But thank you, those of you who have become members of this channel. It means a lot to me, and it shows it's just showing the entire online community that viewers of this channel really enjoy my one-on-one time with you, my commentary. You enjoy being part of the channel as a member. And that you far prefer this environment over the chaotic, absolutely out of control environment that we were experiencing a little over a week ago. So again, I thank you very much for this. We have 1,200 thumbs up so far, approximately. Thank you for these thumbs ups, you guys. That is awful kind of you to support this channel with thumbs ups as well. We have 53 on the downside. So we're about 24 to 1 on the plus to minus ratio. Please consider throwing a thumbs up our way if you could. Let's run that number as high as we can, and maybe we can get to 30 to 1 or 40 to 1 or 50 to 1. I'm trying to show YouTube and people out there who are thinking of coming to this channel, or if they get introduced to this channel, they come and take a quick peek, listen to me yap away. They look at the thumbs up and the thumb down ratio, and they go, wow, this guy is... he's way up on that ratio. Fantastic. He must be giving the viewers some kind of knowledge or information that they want. And again, I thank you for those of you who are showing your support by handing out free thumbs ups that cost you nothing. Please hit that thumbs up button. It'll convince YouTube to promote this channel to more potential viewers, and that really helps us a ton. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm working out something right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to play this. With coming back to our GameStop story, I'm trying to work out to find a way to. I might cover the call. Like I'm trying to figure out if I can cover it live on my channel or not. But I have registered for the call. I'm just not sure if I can cover the call on my channel or not live, if it'll logistically work or not. This is what I don't know. By the way, new members, thank you, Cola, for coming in here. Also, George Valez. George, thank you. And also to Cryptic Ghost, thank you for becoming new members, all in the last 5-10 minutes. Aiden, thank you. But I will be covering the press conference, of course. It starts, like I say, 5 o'clock tomorrow in the East. I'm on the air from 3 to 5, normally, afternoon show. And so we'll see what's going on. We'll go from there. Professor, hey, Uncle Bruce, you remember those options I was upside down on? I made 40 grand on them. Best uncle ever. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I don't recall the actual story of exactly what you were on. I don't remember. Are you talking about AMC, or are you talking about GameStop? But if you've made money, I'm happy. If I in any way helped you do that, I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled, because option players can really take risks that that others just will not take. So anyway, I'm glad about this. Cap, hypothetically, if we see a price channel of less than 3% movement in pre-market for a stock, and we assume it's stabilizing around that price, Cav, that could be, buddy. That can happen. I also noticed, like, looking at GameStop this second, with what we got 3 minutes to go before the opening, it's at 204.50, so it's up 427 a share, 2%. On 200,000 volume. This is very good. This is a good. Not only the fact the stock is up, that's of course one thing. It's up 2+%. That's great, but it's up 2% on 200,000 shares. This is really good stuff. When you see an up move on virtually no serious volume, very good technical indicator that there's just no resistance to this stock, certainly on the pre-market. Now, we're about to open in about 2.5 minutes, so we'll follow how this opens right away. And as you know, the first 5-10 minutes can be quite chaotic. We'll see what's going on. The question today is, for GameStop and anything else, any other stock, when we had the options close out on Friday, the GameStop shares were in that $200 range, which meant that any contract up to $195 at least were in the money. And that was more contracts in the money than the Friday before, perhaps, and certainly from several Fridays before that. So a lot of contracts were in the money. How many contracts were exercised where the shares are called? And how many shares does Chicago need to buy? They certainly are not covered. If they bought half of these 200,000 shares that traded, I don't think it's a $100,000 purchase situation that they're involved with. I think it's millions of shares. And the question is, what will happen on the opening today in the first hour? Is there going to be a bunch of stock needed from Chicago options traders because they got called out on Friday night with their options positions? So that might pop the shares a little bit this morning, or a lot. I mean, I don't know. And then add to that the uncertainty and excitement and hype of tomorrow. There's a lot to look forward to and a lot to wonder about. So yeah, we're going to be busy here. We're going to be busy. I was upside down $4,000 on UPST last week before the earnings call. Bruce, you talked me down. I'm forever grateful. Professor, well done, buddy. I'm just thrilled for you. And you know, don't be stupid and put all that money into another option contract. All right. Please don't do that. I'm going to try to talk you down now. You don't need to be in the options all the time. You can take your time and keep an eye open on where you want to go. Maybe you have enough money now to be a shareholder, not an option player, because options don't expire every Friday. Just kind of, breathe. Just breathe. Calm down. Breathe. Gammy, thank you for this super sticker. I appreciate it. Part of my job here is keeping people from skydiving when they don't have a good enough parachute. Do what I can with what little I have, but all of you who are here and joining me and everything, I appreciate it. I did get a $100 donation from Wally's World. Wally's World, thank you. Hi, Bruce. What would give the most bang for one option contract of GameStop, and how would you structure it? Naked call in the money or out of the money? Expiration, what strike? Thank you, sir. And my screen name is in the honor of the great one. YouTube it. I love Canada. Thanks, buddy. What contract do you buy with GameStop if you're an option player? There's the proverbial question. Getting ready for the opening, by the way. We're at 205 on the pre-market. We're now open on the exchange, officially open. I'm showing 350,000 traded at 201.66 as a first indication. We'll see how this shifts. It's now 203.87, and I expect this to run higher as we had here on the pre-market. Anyway, what option do you play on GameStop? When I try to tell you, don't do that. Don't buy call options on anything like this. Just write them or own the stock, because the kind of money you have to pay to get into an option, you add a little more money and you can buy a bunch of stock. Why would you do that? But I understand there are people out there who want to buy $800 calls, good for a month, and I just kind of go, that's out of my realm of normalcy. But I hear you. I don't recommend you do it. It's kind of my recommendation is don't be running after way out of money contracts, because you're just putting pressure on us. You're just pushing pressure on a stock that it might not be able to deliver. I'm just saying. Eddie, thank you for becoming a member, by the way. I just saw that pop through. 208 on the stock, 207 on the stock right now on 364,000 shares. Isn't that amazing how light it is to be up 680 a share? Not even a million shares. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Yeah, you notice how I haven't got an answer for you? You notice I've been thinking about this. I'm looking at my comments and I'm thinking, can I give this guy an answer? What contract to buy in GameStop on a call contract? Because there are no cheap options, and I don't think you want to have a contract that dies in the next week or two. But then if you go out 3 or 6 months, you will pay unbearable money. I mean, just unthinkable money. So do you buy an in the money call then? So if you're gonna spend $80 a contract, I mean $80 a share per contract, that's an $8,000 contract. I mean, that's ridiculous. Should you buy an $8,000 contract that's in the money by $20, $30, $40 that has a month or two to go? Is that even attainable? Is that even achievable? I just, you know what? When you're paying $80 a share for a contract, the stock's at 206. You just buy the stock. I mean, you buy $8,000 worth of stock. It never expires, and you're doing yourself a favor. You're buying stock in the open market and taking paper away from shorters, squeezing the market. You're just doing yourself. You're just helping your cause. Perpetual win. Again, I'm sorry I can't be more specific than this. By the way, AMC unfortunately down $3 to $12.90. Not looking good. What's happening with AMC? People may want to know. Those haters out there who hate my guts because I'm not as excited about AMC as I am GME. The problem is that the proxy came out. What's a proxy, you ask? When you release financials for the year end, you have to typically you'll announce your shareholder meeting, your annual shareholder meeting, and shareholders who must be given what's called a proxy, which is the document that says, here's the agenda for the meeting. We're going to vote on some stuff as we are supposed to vote every year, like the re-election of directors or replacing new directors or replacing retiring directors. We have to affirm and commit to the the accountant who's going to be the auditor of the company again for the next year. We have to approve the adoption of the financials. We have to approve certain things. Well, one of the little votes coming up with AMC that that is undeniably bearish for the stock is they're going to vote on whether or not to increase the float of the company. How many shares can be issued from 500 million to 1 billion? This is not a bullish thing. This is not, oh, we're going to perhaps double the number of shares outstanding. That's not good for the shareholders. That's a possible dilution of existing shareholders further, because remember, a year ago there were 107 million shares out of GameStop. There are now almost 400 million shares outstanding on AMC, not GameStop, AMC. So AMC had 107 million shares out. Now they have almost 400 million shares out, and AMC is going to 1 billion shares authorized from 500 million authorized. This is in the document that they're going to vote on. Is one of the provisions in the document. This is bad news, and the market is going, oh man, if these guys are going to issue 200 or 300 million more shares for cash to survive, then they're going to dilute their shareholders. The good news is they'll survive and they'll be around longer. Yeah, the bad news is that every dollar made, eventually profits have to be divided into many, many, many more shares. And so for the stock to have, say, a $1 a share net earnings, to clear $1 a share in profits used to mean the company had to make $107 million, 107 million shares outstanding. Today, you got to clear almost $400 million to make $1 a share. If they go to 800 million shares, the company's going to have to make 800 million in profit to make $1 a share versus 100 million to make $1 a share. What does that mean? It means that they make 100 million in profit, like they did a year or two ago, and they have 800 million shares out. They're making 12 cents a share profit because you're dividing the money into way more stock. The company going to trade at 30 times earnings, a 12.5 cent a share earning ratio. That's a $3.75 stock. That's what it will trade at, $3.75, based on 30 times earnings of 12.5 cents a share, making 100 million profit like they made in 1918. This is the problem with diluting a company's shares. This is the problem, and it's unescapable. GameStop has not issued any stock from its treasury in the last year like AMC has had to do, because GameStop has survived the downturn intact the way they are. They have not had to raise money by issuing stock. Sarah, thank you. New member, thank you. And I appreciate this. She's here saying, thank you for coming in here. Love that. Thank you so much for joining up and letting me know. I appreciate that message. All right, so $12.95 on AMC. They haven't diluted the stock any more than what they've done already. I mean, they're at about 400 million. The vote comes up in May. I believe it's May. They have the votes. They'll adopt it. Believe me, they will adopt it. And maybe in June, July, and August, it's a possibility. The company might issue 100 or 200 million shares at whatever their stock is trading at that time to raise a bunch of cash to maybe pay off some bonds that they issued, or make sure they have enough cash on hand to survive the startup, or let's hope not, but what if these variants that are starting to show up in the US now force local health agencies in various cities and states to close up again temporarily? That could affect the AMC cash flows, because if you shut theaters down in certain cities, you're bringing in less money. It's just numbers, nothing personal. It's just numbers. The short squeeze and the possibility of the upside and the failure to deliver and all that stuff, there's AMC issues with that, yes. But with 400 million shares sloshing around now instead of 100 million, and with another 200 or 300 possibly coming up because of their bumping up to 1 billion shares outstanding, we've got issues here that could be very negative for the stock going forward for common shareholders, because common shareholders are the guys at the bottom of the ladder for asset protection, protection against bankruptcy, insolvency. It's the common shareholders that lose it all if the company can't make it. Jonathan, thank you for becoming a member. I'm not saying AMC is going under, but I'm not seeing AMC making $500 million in profit in 2021 or in 2022, because to make that kind of money in profit, they've got to have, billions and billions in ticket sales. They pay out their rent and the royalties to the movie theaters, and down it goes. And then all the interest they're paying off to all that money they borrowed, $6 billion they owe now, $6 billion. They got to pay those bankers. Then there's profit left over, and they won't be 500 million. I don't know if it'll be 100 million, but I hope for the best for the company. They'll be around. Yes. They'll be around. They'll be in business. Movie theaters will be open. That's true. But I don't know about the numbers of for the bottom line. That's what we don't know. And so the market is telling us what it thinks. This is not me telling you this. The market is saying we're $12.83 right now. We're down $1.10. That's what the market is saying. You don't like it? I don't like it either, because I have viewers that own AMC. It's at $12.84, and it got to $14.30, something like that, a few days ago, back on Wednesday, Thursday last week. Looked good, looked a lot better, but now it's $12.83, and that's the issue. Now GameStop jumping around. It's at $200 a share right now. Got as high as a few minutes ago as $210. GameStop got to $210. Now it's at $199.88. Question why? What's happening on this market? It's traded 1.2 million shares, really quiet. Have hedge funds out there decided that we'll let the stock open and let it do its thing, and then after 15 minutes or 10 minutes, we'll step in there and we'll slam this market and we'll bring it back down to the 200 range, or will we drop it lower to get people nervous about holding this stock? Again, this game, the psychological game that is going on all the time on Wall Street. Is this happening? We don't see all the markets plummeting right now. The Dow is off 65 points. That's nothing. That's 0.2%, a fifth of a percentage point. Nothing going on in the Dow. The S&P is up 5.8 points, and NASDAQ is up 86. There's no market even moving a percentage point today. So there's nothing there overhanging these stocks that I'm talking about. But GameStop now, just this 15, 20 seconds ago, was 200. It's now 201.97. It's back to 202, 202.68. So you see how it's jumping around. You get a little wave of selling, drops off. Get a little wave of buying, pops up. Now 203.50. Go figure. You tell me what's going on. This is typical for GameStop these days, and that's what we're having to contend with. On Vector Acquisition, VACQ is having a good day today, up 55 cents a share to $12.15. It was as high as $12.25 today. Vector Acquisition is getting good press. They're definitely getting good press. They are the ones who are merging with the rocket company, the Rocket Lab, and there's an article that came out over the weekend that talked about the deal in a very good way, because Rocket Lab has already been successful in sending rockets up with satellites, and they'll be the second largest space company delivering satellites to space behind Elon Musk's SpaceX. This will be the second largest, and they're already having successful launches. They're not like going to have successful launches. They've already got successful launches, and Vector Acquisition will turn into Rocket Lab. That's going to be the name of the company. And Rocket Lab will be a $4.1 billion capitalized company, enterprise value. Cash on hand, $750 million on day one. So well-funded. They have orders right up to here for satellite launches. No shortage of business. And they'll be right into launching satellites right. Just they're going to keep right on going. And so Vector Acquisition could be a SpaceX play for those of you who are into that kind of thing without other baggage. I mean, we're talking simply Rocket Lab inside the SPAC. They'll own 80-something% of all the shares outstanding, and away we go. So very good run today at $12.15 a share. Those of you who've been picking up some of my SPACs, you're going to love this. And the deal hasn't closed yet. I mean, the deal will close in the next 30 to 60 days. It'll officially be completed, and the company will be trading as Rocket Lab. On NavSite Holdings, up 14 cents. Happy to see that on another one of my SPACs. That one is going to be acquiring Spire Global. That's the name of the company that they're buying up. Spire Global operates the satellites. So you got the launcher to get them up there, and then you got the operator of all the data for the satellites. And that's what the NavSite Holdings will be doing. So there's really good market money in that, because satellite space is very expensive to get, because satellites have a limited lifespan in space. And so there's always entities looking for places to move data, share data from one old satellite that's going to crack out to a newer launched one. And so NavSite, yeah, they're going to do just fine. They're just going to rake in all kinds of money handling all the data for these satellites. Agor's Holdings down 36 cents. That's another one of the SPACs I've recommended. They're taking over Matterport, the 3D imaging software company for real estate places and hotels and resorts. They're off 37 cents, 15.62. They're a buy. If you can get them under 18 bucks, pick that one up. And then VGAC, that is the Virgin Group Acquisition Corp. It's up 4 cents to 10.50 this morning. Very quiet start. That's the Richard Branson SPAC with the 23andMe company becoming one with 950 million cash in the bank. The minute they are completed, that one will be done in the next 30 to 50 days or less, because that's well underway now. That's been well over a month ago. Maybe even 6 weeks ago, they announced that deal. Wait for that. Starboard Value at 10.05. That one is the company that is picking up the data farm outfit called Sykestra. That is going to be a very, very profitable company, but it is not sexy. This company is not like a satellite launcher. You know, you're not going to have media outside the door of a data farm showing you how much money they make, because a data farm is a boring old building, has no windows, got barbed wire all around it, and is filled with servers, and no one from the media is allowed inside any of these buildings, period, ever. So these guys make money behind closed doors in these data farms. The folks at Starboard will acquire this company that has 61 data farms around the world already, and they're expanding. This is a beautiful cash cow company that will get no press. So the stock will trade on its fundamentals. They will be very good, but it will not be the sexy hot media stock that everyone gets excited about. This kind of a company will be highlighted whenever there's a data breach story. Some company's been hacked. That's when data farms get highlighted, not negatively, but actually positively, because that's where all the data is stored securely, if I can say that right. And that's what SVAC is going to become, a very solid, great cash flow company, making a ton of money, as every company in the world over a certain size will have data farm locations of their servers. That's where these guys come in. Then Fortress Value, 9.98 is this SPAC. I just shake my head at it and go, man, oh man. This company is merging with a firm called ATI Physical Therapy. And the ATI Physical Therapy has 860 operating locations across North America, I think mainly in the US, where people who have physical issues, the physiotherapy from either being injured or recovery from surgery and other services, they go to these 860 locations 7 days a week for, I'm sure, 12 hours a day. They're open, and they're not in expensive real estate locations. They're in very, very affordable locations. And this company generates all their returns from insurance company premiums. they don't really have collection problems from patients that they look after. Doctors refer patients to these centers for rehab. They get rehab under their insurance plan. The folks at the folks at ATI collect money from the insurance companies every month. They do their billings, and it's in the billions. It's just going to be in the billions. And these guys are going to expand to 920 plus locations in the next year. This is going to be listed on the exchange with a $2.5 billion starting value, cash on hand of $650 million. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the first order of business, within the first 3 months of being listed as a new company, they're going to start announcing takeovers of other regional physiotherapy chains that they're just going to absorb into this thing. And that within 3 or 4 years, they might have 3,000 locations across America, all funded through the insurance programs that are out there. And they'll be full up with, you'll have to have an appointment to go in, and you're there from 2 to 3 or 2 until 4 or 10 until noon for your therapy and whatever it is you're getting. And this stock's $9.98. It's 2 cents below the offering of the SPAC. That's called under the ground floor opportunity to get in with management. But what can I say? Some folks just will not look a gift horse in the mouth, and they want excitement, they want hype, they want sexiness. These companies are boring money makers. That's all they are, boring old money makers. Like driving down the street with apartment buildings all over the place that have no vacancies. Boring money makers. You don't even notice them. They're just there. Yeah, another building with 60 units here, building with 80 units there. If you owned one, you'd be excited because of the amount of cash you're generating from a rental. But when you're on the outside looking, it's just a building. Oh, look at the skyscraper over there. Oh, that's exciting. It's 30% vacant. Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, these apartments, that's where the money's made. Anyway. Fortress, Starboard, VGAC, Gores Holdings, Vector, and Navsite are my 6 SPACs that I've talked about ad nauseum. And what can I say? You got them, good. And if you have them, don't even think about them. Just leave them over here on the side of your portfolio and enjoy the ride, because all 6 will change their name, change their symbols, all in the next couple of months, and they're NASDAQ or New York Exchange traded, and they're going to be just drowning the media with all kinds of announcements, and then we'll talk about that later. So there you go. Fantastic. Thank you, all of you, for popping in today to see me hanging out with the Uncle Bruce this morning. 2,100 thumbs up so far. We have 100 thumbs down, 107. So we're about 21 to 1 right now between up and down. If you can find a way to throw me a thumbs up this morning, and we'll build that ratio up. Let's see if we can get that to 30 to 1 or 35 to 1. That would be really nice. Thank you, all of you, for throwing thumbs ups this direction. If you're enjoying the channel and you like hearing Uncle Bruce talking away about the markets, I appreciate you showing your appreciation by hitting the thumbs ups. Again, those of you who have joined this channel as members, from the bottom of my heart, and Jennifer, we thank you so much for putting your faith in us to bring you the updates on what's going on every day here on the markets. We have lots to cover all the time. Sometimes it's what you want to hear. Sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but you better get the truth from someplace. And if there's bad news out there, I'll tell you. I'm not going to hold it back from you. This is not a kumbaya channel where we stand around the campfire and sing happy songs and ignore realities. I just don't want to do that. I'm too old for that. I don't need that game. So sometimes I'll bring out news that you might not want to hear so much, and but you better know it, just to give you another opinion, and then you take it from there. Throw it in the garbage or keep it in the back of your mind, up to you. Thank you, those of you who have been supporting this channel, doing this, picking up these items. My gosh, unbelievable. We were successful with Redbubble the other day. You may recall we were having problems with knockoffs. We had other sellers on Redbubble selling this logo as if they created it, and they didn't. This was provided to my channel by a viewer who told me, use it all you want, and God bless you for it. We put it on the Redbubble site. We have sweatshirts, T-shirts, all kinds of product on it. But I've been asking you out there, when you do place an order for this logo product, please make sure you're ordering it from the Redbubble store that I have, which is under my name. It's Bruce Frommert. It's under Stock Markets with Bruce, or it's under Traveling with Bruce. You can link to this site for Redbubble right through the description down below this video, or down below the videos I make now. I've been making for a while. And make sure when you place the order, it is through us. We do get a royalty. Jennifer and I receive a royalty every time one of these is ordered. We don't have to do a darn thing to get the royalty anymore. We provided the logo to the Redbubble people. They handle everything for you, your address, the shipping, the manufacturing, the customs nonsense, everything. They give you a tracking number, and folks have been responding to us going, I got the cup, I got the T-shirt, I got the sweatshirt, and it's great, it's great, it's great. So we're getting a lot of positive feedback, as we always have from Redbubble, and it allows me to just say to you guys, thank you for supporting this channel, and I'm just so thrilled I don't have to worry about fouling anything up on it. It's fantastic. Thank you. I love you, Bruce. Trolls are lame, says Mr. B. Down 5% on the day, up 100% on the month. I wish they could kill my spirit. Still rocking. Thank you so much for popping in and making a super chat to me. Very much appreciated, all of you. All of these messages of support, absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. Again, we're now at 2,400 thumbs ups and counting. Keep them coming, guys. Fantastic numbers here. We have over 5,600 here, so there's got to be 3,000 thumbs ups available. There's just got to be 3,000 more thumbs ups out there. Guys, please hit that thumbs up button and let's turn this thing on. Get YouTube talking about GameStop, the big day tomorrow, the earnings day, the conference call day. The more folks following this channel on GameStop, the more people will hear what is really going on. There's 200 that just came in on the thumbs up. We're now 2,600 plus. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, and let's crush the thumbs down ratio and see if we can build this thing up. We're just over the 20-to-1 ratio right now. Hit the thumbs up for me. Let's make this happen. Thank you, guys, so much. It's much appreciated. Alrighty, what is going on? Here we go. Can you explain in plain English, Bruce, what's going on here? GameStop has 27% of all the shares are held by insiders. That would be the president, the board of directors, and all the senior officers. 22% is held by institutions. 168% of the float is held by institutions. How can this be over 100%? Well, yeah, kind of what makes it. And on top of everything else, I think something like, if I recall, 20-something% of all the shares, 26% of the float is held by short sellers, declared short sellers. So add that to the mix, and you've got a problem. Houston, we got a problem here. How can there be way more shares out there and trading all the time instead of temporarily, but I mean all the time, compared to how many actually exist? Why is that? And I try in plain English many times a week to explain this phenomena. I can only say that for some reason, the SEC has allowed brokerage houses to come to settlement date 2 days after trade to the clearing firms without their stock. They come over there and go, we don't have paper. We know we sold stock the other day, like 2 days ago. Our clients sold way more stock than they bought, and 500,000 shares more sold than purchased on GameStop, for example. But we don't have the stock in-house right now. We have clients who are transferring it in. They say they're getting it from the options pit in Chicago to cover. So we'll have it. We'll have it soon. And so the clearinghouses go, well, under SEC rules, we can give you 21 more days to cover. We can give you another 3 weeks. So It's an IOU. We'll just adjust the IOU number. So you take a look at, if you're able to take a look at the brokerage houses out there with all the lists of GameStop shares through their clientele, you might be surprised to find out that a majority of brokerage firms in the U.S. brokerage business system actually owe a whole pile of GameStop shares to the clearing houses. Of course, at the same time, these same brokerage houses also have IOUs where they're owed stock from the clearing houses, because there are days where they have hedge funds buying stock and individual investors and not selling as much, and they're supposed to get 500,000 shares of stock, and they didn't get it because the guy's supposed to deliver didn't deliver, failure to deliver. So the middleman, the clearing corporation, the DTCC, they're giving IOUs to both parties. So they're allowing the money to change hands. Buyers' checks go to the sellers, and the IOUs go each direction. And so this house is owed 500,000 shares. This house owes 500,000 shares. And we'll see tomorrow when we do some more clearing. And the thinking is, and the theory is, that over time, those who are short stock will eventually deliver stock to lower the IOU number to be very low. And then those who are owed stock will eventually get stock so that their IOU number drops down as well. And it all kind of evens out. That was the theory. That's how it's supposed to work. And the thinking by doing this was, we're adding liquidity to the markets. That's what we're doing. We're just adding liquidity. And by having brokerage firms allowing them to buy and to sell, despite the fact that they may or may not have the actual securities in-house, it adds liquidity to the marketplace, and the company shares can trade more actively and in a narrower spread between buy and sell price. And today we have 2.1 million shares of GameStop shares trading hands, when in theory there's only about 40 million, 50 million free trading officially, but of those, maybe only 10 or 12 million can trade. We had 2 million trade already. That's pretty good. That's liquidity for only 12 odd million shares out there. So in theory, it sounds good, but in practice, it's not so good, because if you do some simple mathematics and you figure out that there are more than 200% of the number of shares out there trading hands versus what really exists, we now realize, wow, there's over 160 million shares trading hands. Maybe there's over 200 million trading hands all the time. That's good for liquidity. It's great for stockbrokers, because brokers who charge no commission to their customers, they only take a sliver of the bid and the ask price. They kind of work a deal between the two. So you want to buy 100 shares at 194.82 or 194.85, and somebody wants to sell at 194.82.85. Those two buyers and sellers get merged together by the broker that does the clearing. They take a half a penny on each side of the market. So a penny comes out each way, half a penny each way. That's a total of a penny. That's $1. And the trade gets done, and the buyer gets stock for a half a penny more than they could have. The seller gets a half a penny less than they could have, but that's only $5 or 50 cents for each party. 50 cents for each party. Whereas when I was a broker, the minimum commission started at $25 a trade, and it went up to $100 a trade by the late 90s into the 2000s. You're not being charged $100 a trade. You're being charged $1, half a buck. Who cares? Oh, that's great. Great. Let's trade. Let's go crazy. And if you get a confirmation that says you just sold some GameStop at 194, it's now trading at 193, you can buy it back right now at 193 and make $1. And there's no commission. By the way, it's now 192.96 on GameStop. It's being attacked again. It's getting hit another time. It's off 4% at 191 now. It's now off 4.3%. If it can drop down to 180 or so, that'll be a 10% drop on the day, which puts the shares into restricted short selling mode for the rest of the day today and all day tomorrow, which happens to be the day the financials come out. Interesting. We're at 190.04 now. Again, taking a hit, down 5.1%. So we're going to follow this right now live to see what GameStop wants to do. will these attackers who are either maliciously and purposely attacking the stock to drop it down by 10% for more than just the short sale restriction reason. That might not even be the reason at all. The reason might be they're trying to drop this market down to get a bunch of you folks who are long this stock to panic out and sell at an even lower price than this. Is that what's happening? Will that be taking place all day? The volume right now, 2.5 million. There is nothing trading here, guys. It's really thin. And as I'm speaking, it's now back to 192.75 again. It just jumped up $2. We're getting this pattern again and again and again now for about a week and a half. We get these intraday hits where the stock takes a dump and then comes back up, takes a little dump, comes back up again and again and again. And it doesn't seem to be breaking the spirit of the people who own the stock, because they know the report comes out tomorrow. There's going to be this financial report coming out tomorrow. Why would I sell the stock today? That report won't even come out until tomorrow after the close. So I'm not selling until at least Wednesday. And even Wednesday, I don't know if I want to sell the stock, because Tuesday night after the report, the management has their conference call. And then all day Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be all kinds of media reports on what was said and interpreted and the future of the company. Why would I want to give up the stock now? Whereas with hedge funds who are upside down this thing, who are short this stock, and they might be short at 50, 60, 70 again, they're still down a lot of money, and they need between now and next Wednesday a really bad print. They need Wednesday night, the 31st of March, they want the lowest print possible on this stock. The problem they have is tomorrow the financials come out with the conference call, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Who knows where the shares are going to go with the reaction to that? And they're trying to kill a market at the same time. And they might be fighting a losing battle of a whole bunch of people wanting to get in. This is where these guys could get really crushed. And what happens if they keep selling here and are theoretically shorting now at these prices, and this market goes up $150 a share later this week? What now? What if it's a 350 market and they're shorting at 194, 192, 191, and they lose all these? They lose on these trades on top of the trades they're already losing. The billions just add up to more billions of problems, and that gets interesting. And of course, there are hedge funds on the other side going, we know who's shorting this stuff. We know how much money these guys are already down, and we're just going to let them keep shorting it to us. We're going to let them drop it a bit. We'll buy it up, and then it'll bounce back a little bit, and then they'll short it again. We'll buy it from them, and as it backs off, we'll let them in the door, but eventually we'll shut the door behind them, bolt it shut. There's no way out. The only way out now is through that door over there. That's the way out. But to get out of that door, you got to pass all these other shareholders. You got to buy them out of the way, and they're not getting out of the way at $205 a share or $215 a share. You're not getting them out of there. You're not getting them out of there at 150 either. You're not a chance. There's going to be more of them. The room will be even more packed. You're going to have to really buy your way out of this house, and it's going to cost you billions. And that's the philosophy of some of this market versus the other side of this market that most of you don't see. We don't see it on this, necessarily here. There's no place for us to go to watch this show, but it's happening because there's bunches of dough here being wagered on this stock back and forth. 195.45 just popped up almost 5 cents. I think it hit 189 for the low for like one trade, but that's not low enough to get the 10% rule. It needed to get to 180. Didn't happen. Now it's $6 higher at 195 in 3 minutes. Kind of funny how it works, huh? When the selling stops, within 3 minutes of the selling drying up, the stock pops up $5-6 a share, just like that, like butter, just goes like a hot knife through butter, just goes right up again. Odd. And again, why would anyone want to sell this stock so aggressively as to make it look bad? Why would a seller kill their own market that they're long in? That's not how selling is done. If a broker is any good at all, a broker will feed stock into a market without crushing it. That's the last thing anyone wants to really do, but not these sellers. These sellers are purposely and absolutely looking for the opportunity to crush a stock's value, to to get the stock down. That's what they're about. So anyway, 193.62 is the last trade. Volume now on the day for GameStop, 2.8 million shares. That is not very heavy at all. AMC, 1206. 1206 a share on AMC. Volume this morning, 27 million shares. This is kind of the low, 1202, the absolute low of the day, down $1.87. The percentage loss today on AMC is dramatic. We are looking at a 13.8% drop on AMC, so it is on the restricted short sale list for today and tomorrow. But the stock is getting hit hard at now $12 a share, $11.90 just a moment ago. New low of the day for AMC. Not good. Good news, the market is up. The Dow has gone positive. The Dow now is up 29 points after having been low all morning, been down. It's just come up over 100 plus points on a recovery. S&P up 15, that's stronger. NASDAQ up 93. So the big markets are higher. Certain markets are lower. And AMC now down 15% to 1184, 1188. Not looking good on AMC. AMC 1188 down 205 a share today. Getting crushed. GameStop down $5 to 195 with a couple of attempted sell-offs, but it's a 2% dip, 2.5%, nothing to worry about. And like I say, New York now up 31, S&P up 16, and NASDAQ up 101 points. Good market. Vector up 69 cents. VACQ, the SPAC I've been talking about, and NAV Site Holdings up 22 cents. Both are nicely higher today. VG Acquisition up 13 cents. Starboard Value unchanged. Fortress unchanged. That's where we're at on the SPACs. Very good. Gorse Holding down 64. That's the only loser on the 6 SPACs I've recommended. It's off 69 cents to 15.30. That's getting very attractive here. Below 15, really attractive. But we'll see how that wants to play itself out. AMC now 1182 down 211 on the stock. Not doing well today. Here on this channel, 2,900 thumbs up have come in so far today. Thank you for these thumbs ups. Keep them coming in, guys. Let's get over 3,500 if we can right away. We have 134 down arrows right now. Why people are angry at me, what can I say? If I don't glorify AMC, I get the thumbs downs. That's just the way it seems to be right now. And I can't glorify AMC if it's down $2 a share to 11.90. I'm not making this happen. I'm just telling you what's going on. It's not looking good. So thank you for those of you who are popping the thumbs up button for me today. We're now at 3,000 thumbs ups. Keep them coming, guys. Let's get to 3,600 or so and more. We certainly are able to do that. We have 140 on the downside. And sorry, folks, those of you who are thumbs downs, you're having a bad one today if you're into just AMC. 11.90 a share right now, down 203 on AMC. That's looking grim. 194 on GameStop. Low of the day for GameStop, 189, and the high, 210. And that was on the opening right off the get-go. 210 opening, and that's where we're at. We did just get a new member, I believe. Thank you to, let me see if I get this, find this here. Yes, here we are. Layman Jeep, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Welcome to the club. You get to use emojis and comment on the live shows, and you're hanging out with some pretty good people here who are like you, more than likely, looking for an honest assessment of what's going on and trying to get it out in a plain English format. So there you go. Other stocks I'm watching, by the way, just for fun here. Home Depot down 366 at 285.44. It's had a good couple of weeks lately. IBM up 22 cents to 129. That came up from that 119 range about 3 weeks ago. The Dow is now showing up 18. It's really jumping around here. It's up 18, up 11. It's really getting whipsawed here, but it's generally right at the flat line, a little ahead, a little down. I'm not worried about this market. Microsoft up 335. Very good day here. Apple up $1.75. Tesla up 19.85. So that's good to see there. Over at BlackBerry, down 12 cents to 10.83. Bed Bath & Beyond down 60 cents to 30.98. So they're not reacting or rallying with this market right now. They're just kind of drifting along. The cruise stocks are lower. Now, they made announcements over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, talking about cruising out of the Bahamas for Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean wants to have a sail. I think it's the Adventure of the Seas. They want to put that ship in Nassau. And they're enticing travelers by saying, fly to Nassau from the USA, get on the ship for a 1-week cruise. We'll take you to a perfect day at Coco Key or Coco Cay, depending how you like it pronounced. We'll do that. We'll do our own little private island, and then we'll take you to Cozumel in Mexico. We can do that. We're doing a 1-week cruise here, and we'll have a great time. There was another stop they were promoting. I can't remember which one it was, and that one was Royal Caribbean. Then over at Carnival. It was let me think a minute. It was Carnival. No, it was still at Royal Caribbean. It was a celebrity cruise ship. They were talking about using it for cruises from I believe it was what was it? The Millennium out of Saint Martin. That's right. I'm just looking at my notes here. The Celebrity Millennium cruise ship is going to a home port out of Saint Martin. So you can fly to Philipsburg and Saint Martin. That's the island where the jets land, where they come in on their final approach right over the beach, and the people are standing under the plane. It's only 20 feet above them, and right across the beach, and then there's a little roadway, and then there's the runway right there. And the plane comes right down, right over the beach, and people are standing up there. And then when the plane takes off, it taxis from the terminal all the way to the end of the runway where the beach is, turns around, and then is taking off towards some hills, like low mountains. And people are trying to stand behind the jet where the jet blast is. It's just kooky. And they try to survive that. I wouldn't recommend you do that. But anyway, this is where Saint Martin is. That's the place that I'm referring to. The Millennium will depart on 1-week cruises from there, and apparently they're going to take cruises to Curacao and Aruba and Barbados. 3 stops for, again, a 1-week cruise, and then back to Saint Martin. Now, in both cases, if you want to take the cruise, you have to have be vaccinated. Got to be vaccinated. And if you're a child under 18, you have to have a negative COVID test because children are not being vaccinated. So there's all that going on. How successful will they be running these 2 ships? Only 2 ships from these 2 spots remains to be determined. I've been surprised that Barbados hasn't been used at Bridgetown, Barbados, for 1-week cruises out of there. But there's a lot of there's airfare available between Miami and Florida to San Martin and to the Bahamas. A very quick hop over flights. So the thinking is, well, we'll fly in enough people to do maybe 1,000 passengers per cruise, put them in just balcony rooms, perhaps, negative tests only, and all crew vaccinated and all this sort of stuff. So they figured out we have enough crew to slap together for these 2 ships, to run these 2 ships, and let's see how this works out. What worries me is what happens if you're on a cruise on one of these 2 ships, and on the fourth day, someone becomes ill, and they go to the health center. They test them for the virus. They find that they're positive. They then put the whole ship on a lockdown, everyone in their rooms. The ships come back to their home ports. The question is, how cooperative are the home ports for these ships, of course? Will they allow these folks to get off the ships, or will they determine that you have to have a negative test before you can get off the ship? Then you can go right to the airport and get out of Dodge because you can't stay here. There's 1,000 passengers now. They might have to rearrange flights. They might have wanted to stay at Saint Martin or Nassau for a week at an all-inclusive resort after their cruise. Now you got to leave. Then then you land in the United States, because that's where you're probably coming from. What happens to you now? Does the Homeland Security people just let you in? You have to have a negative test proven to get back in. Okay, you prove negative, great. Okay, but what if the CDC changes its mind and they go, oh wow, you were just on a cruise ship with positive test result, and maybe in 3 or 4 days for the rest of the cruise, 5 more people came down with it, or 10 more people. What do we do now? I don't know. This is one of those. This is a gamble people are going to have to take on these cruises from these non-U.S. ports to other non-USA ports, and then trying to get back into the United States. You're going to have to figure out that one yourself. I don't know. As a Canadian, I know theoretically I can fly to the United States if I have a negative test here in Canada, and I can prove to the airline I have a negative test. I can go to Miami, maybe Calgary to Dallas, Dallas to Miami. And then from Miami, I know I can fly to Nassau. Again, I've been theoretically vaccinated and I have a negative test. And I can get on the ship. Then I can get off the ship and hopefully no problems there, and then fly back to the US with a negative test result, being vaccinated. Okay. Then come back to Canada. But even being vaccinated, coming back to Canada, it's a mandatory quarantine scenario in Canada. That lasts from 3 days, depending on test results, or longer, at your expense at hotels that the government of Canada tells you have to use. I'm not interested in playing that game. That is just way too expensive for me. So all these expenses of testing and what have you, I don't know what these tests are going to run. Maybe in Canada it cost me $100 for a test. In Miami it maybe cost me $250. Maybe in the Bahamas it cost me $400. I don't know. It's a blank check deal, and rules can change at a moment's notice based on what happens with these cruise ships or not, with possible cases. Very difficult. Anyway, the cruise lines are down in price right now. They're not having a good day cruise ship wise, stock wise. Cruise ship stocks right now, for example, for Royal Caribbean, they're down $2.42 to $88.30, down $1.18 on Norwegian to $28.52, and down $1.50 on Carnival, $27.46. So these cruise lines are under pressure today, even though there are possible cruises starting again. This is the problem with what's going on here. So anyway, I mentioned that to you, just so you know what is really going on out there. Hope you appreciate it. I love giving you the straight goods as best as I can interpret it in plain English. GameStop right now down $6.18 or so at $194.09. That is not enough of a drop to get the restricted shareholder short sale restriction list imposed. It's got to drop to about $180 a share or so to have that happen. It hasn't done it yet today. It has basically been above water for the first 15-20 minutes of the day, and now for the remainder of this day we're underwater, but not enough. AMC has had a rough go though. AMC unfortunately opened at $13.15 a share, got to $13.19, and is now at $12.20. That's down $1.70. So it opened underwater. It's been underwater all day on AMC. Low of the day, $11.76. Right now, $12.19. A little bounce back, but it's giving up some ground again on AMC. 37 million traded, all in negative territory, unfortunately. GameStop volume so far. GameStop 3.3 million shares. Not a lot. 195.18, down $5 on the stock, approximately down 509, 527. 2.6% drop on GameStop. Nothing to worry about. I'm convinced that most people are waiting for the financials to be released tomorrow night, and they're waiting for management to have their conference call at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening before they do anything dramatic. That's it. And I'm thinking that a lot of the folks who own this stock, who actually own it, are unlikely to offer it for sale, no matter how awful the financials might be. No matter how that conference call goes, they're still not going to sell the stock. Unless it takes off on them, it's not for sale, because people, I think, who own this, a lot of them are not flippers. There are a percentage, yes, but a very, very small percentage. I think that a vast majority of shareholders of GameStop And I'm going to say, I'm not talking about the 70 million that are out there. I'm talking about the 150 to 250 million shares that are really out there. I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps 180 million shares of GameStop have been picked up by mutual funds, hedge funds, index funds, and investors, retail investors around the world, and they're not for sale. The only stock that's for sale is the 20, 30 million that's floating around out there that might be additionally out there because it shouldn't be, from failure to deliver, perhaps option traders are writing naked calls. That stock theoretically is the stock trading, perhaps. Shorters have a problem. They need more than that. They have got to get 150 million shares of GameStop back in their hands to cover their short positions. But they're not going to be able to get it, I think, unless they can run up that, unless the market runs up in price. And if it gets to the $400 to $600 range, I think half of the short selling position will be available, no matter what people say. I think that much stock will come out. The hedge funds and whoever is shorting this stock right now, they're hoping that the perception of the financials tomorrow will be awful. And they're hoping that the conference call will be uninspiring. And they're hoping that there will be media that will be really negative. And I'm going to tell you this, there's going to be negative media on GameStop. But I'm going to surmise and I'm going to take a shot that I have a suspicion that the negative media you're going to hear about is likely paid for negative media. You might want to really look at the source of some of these articles that will likely come out about the GameStop scenario, and determine for yourself how credible is this information really. There might be a lot of negative media being purchased that is being written up, ready to go, because every week, if those of you who are following this story like I am, you've probably noticed that every week there are articles coming out on GameStop that are highly critical of the company, highly critical of the stock, highly critical of you who own the stock, highly critical of the brick and mortar company that shouldn't be trading at these values, and that you're risking all kinds of money. You only own stock if you can afford to lose everything. That kind of article is out there all the time on GameStop. And if you really think that that is independent journalism, you might be in for a bit of a rude awakening. It's probably bought and paid for promotion on the negative side by those who are negative the stock. Could that be it? Well, yes, that's exactly what it is. There are hedge funds out there who are short a lot of stock for a lot of money, and they think of nothing. They think nothing to hire a writer for $500, $1,000 to plant a negative story on the stock. And it's a catchy headline. GameStop shares might be you might be in for a bad time, or small retail investors risking everything buying GameStop, or GameStop financials could be a huge disappointment. Whatever they want to. The clickbait article is what you're looking at. You're going to find that, and you'll see it now. It's been happening for weeks. Even though the stock has gone from $38.50 up to $346 a share in like a week and a half, there were articles negative, and they're still coming up. But the stock at $195.78 right now, $196.09, down $4, down 2%. Not a bad day. That's not a bad day for GameStop. That's pretty boring. $196.63 down $364. Anyway, we'll watch this stock. See how they attack it and how it wants to run. 197 and 197 now in the stock. A little better yet. We'll see. The Dow now down 32 points. The Dow up, 32 points. It's actually positive. S&P is positive 18. NASDAQ is positive 120. So they're all up. The NASDAQ is the big winner. It's up almost 1%, 0.92 of a percentage point for NASDAQ. S&P up almost a half a point. The Dow not even up 0.1 of a percentage point. So it's a very calm, quiet day today. we're watching this closely. We're going to see just where everything wants to go. The oil is down 7 cents on the barrel. Nothing much happening there. And we're watching our favorite markets. I was reading something else today I wanted to throw at you. You remember the stock called, the company called Groupon? Do you remember Groupon from about, I'm going to say about, at least a decade ago. I think Groupon has been listed for over a decade now. I saw a headline this morning that caught my attention. I'm trying to figure it out. I thought, being 45 years ago, entering the business, the brokerage business, being a stockbroker, and then being a desk trader and a VP of a brokerage house and taking a company public, I thought I knew it all. I really did. I thought I was a hotshot. Not true. That's not true. This morning, I'm reading an article about Groupon, and I can't figure out something about this announcement. It was an announcement about a bond that the company wanted to issue. They wanted to issue a $200 million senior convertible note. And I've been talking about these notes now for about a week with you guys. I've started mentioning these notes. I mentioned the note that DraftKings wanted to do, $1.1 billion zero interest note convertible into stock. Then I mentioned the note that Ford wants to do, 0% interest convertible into common stock as well. And now I notice Groupon announcing a $200 million senior preferred convertible note they want to issue. Now, it's so early in the game with these guys, they haven't mentioned the terms. So they haven't mentioned what interest rate there is, if any, and they haven't mentioned what kind of conversion into stock it would be and at what price. But that's not what confused me, because I can understand those kinds of revelations and releases through SEC filings. What I couldn't make out was they were coming up with new terminology that was kind of had me wonder, what does this actually mean, this new terminology? And I'm just going to take a peek here, see if I can get this to pop up here. I'll pop this up over here. Hang on one second. Groupon. Where is Groupon? Groupon. Where is good old Groupon? There it is. Yeah, there it is right there. $51.78 a share, down $6.20 today. So it's not having a great day. But Groupon Inc., I'll tell you, I remember it was a high flyer when it first came out. The stock was as high as 500 a share. But I have to admit, this stock, I think, has been rolled back. I think it's had a rollback. I don't know how many shares for one, but it was up there at the beginning, and then it crapped out really low. I think the stock was way down in the $1 or $2 or $3 range at one point in time. So they might have done a 10 or 20 for one rollback on this thing. Anyway, about March, it was at $25 a share. And lately it got as high as 62, and it's now at 51. Okay. The term I want to talk to you about, this new lingo that apparently is happening, a private offering of $200 million convertible notes. And let me see here. They're offering the broker a $30 million option, $30 million option by more. So it could be $230 million in notes. And they intend to use, here we go, the Groupon intends to use a portion of the net proceeds from the offering to pay the cost of the capped call transactions. Capped call transactions. So they're saying here that in connection with the pricing, they expect to enter into a capped call transactions with respect to the notes with one or more of the initial purchasers of the notes or their respective affiliates and or other financial institutions, the option counterparties. Again, this is all legalese crap. The capped call transactions will cover, subject to customary adjustments, the number of shares of our common stock that will initially be underlined by the notes. The capped call transactions are expected generally to reduce potential dilution to Groupon's common stock upon any conversion of the notes and or offset any cash payments Groupon is expected to make in excess of the principal amount of the converted notes, with such reduction and or offset subject to a cap. If the initial purchasers of the note exercise their option to purchase additional notes, Groupon expects to enter into additional capped call transactions with option counterparties. What the heck is that? What are you saying? What is this? So I've been trying to kind of guess what this is. I'm trying to put a handle on it. And my guess is, man, this is just an old man in a living room in Creston, British Columbia, trying to discern and help you guys figure out the stock market that has become a very complex place. Here's what I think it might be. It could be that they're going to issue these shares, these notes, excuse me, they're going to issue these bonds with zero interest, like these other guys have been doing. And they want to offer the opportunity for the bondholder to convert the bond into stock of Groupon at a premium, just like Ford and DraftKings want to do. Now, I don't know what the premium is, but I'm wondering, what if it's 50% more? The stock's at stocks right now at 50 something. Excuse me. What do they want to cut a deal and make it at $75 a share? I'm just using this number. The stock was 60, and they might have tried to do a $60 market price to a $90 conversion rate. I don't know what they have in mind, but let's say it's 50% more. Okay. From what I've gathered already, they're saying that the $200 million they're going to bring in, it might be $230 million they bring in, would be used for a couple of things. One of the things they wanted to do was retire a note that they had issued a few years ago at 3.25% interest. They want to buy that note back with this money from this bond, so they don't have to pay 3.25% interest to whomever. And that might be a bond that's maturing in the next 6 months. Legitimate, normal course business. So if you can issue a bond at 0% and then take the money and buy a bond you issued a few years ago at 3.25% and get rid of it, you don't have to pay 3.25% interest anymore on that money. That's great. You're 3.25% ahead on every dollar you paid off. Okay, great. But now you've got this situation here with the rest of the money and the fact that these folks who took this bond could convert it into stock, which could dilute the number of shares outstanding of the company. They're trying to find a way around this. And maybe what they're doing is they're going to take a portion of this money, the bond money, and they're going to theoretically buy up stock on the open market right now and cancel stock, knowing that this bond could convert into stock later at a higher price. And that way, if they acquire a bunch of shares now at 51, cancel the certificates, when they do convert the bond into stock, there'll be just as many shares out at a higher price. Is that what they're up to? I don't know. I don't understand, because it doesn't say it in plain English. It's just this gobbledygook of legalities that make no sense to anyone. I don't know how anyone understands it. I'm kind of waiting for an article to come out from some financial media somewhere who's going to say, this is what this means, because I don't know what this means. I'm trying to figure out what is the game plan here that these guys have in mind. Anyway, they are saying, there are headlines saying Groupon plans $200 million convertible debt offering to help pay off convertible debt, to pay off other debt. Wedbush increased the target price of Groupon back on March the 3rd from 29 a share to 62 a share. That's where the stock almost was yesterday, Friday. We're wondering just what does this actually really mean in the big picture? I can't actually tell you. And there's no other news except there is a filing with the SEC right now that was made this morning on Groupon. So I'm just going to take a look if I can find this filing. It's it looks like an 8K filing, a special event filing made today, saying what? Filing Groupon. All righty. What are they saying? Bear with me, folks. Let's discover this together. Let's see what the market is up to. March 22nd, Groupon announces its intention to offer, subject to market and other conditions, $200 million in aggregate principal amount of new convertible senior notes. They intend to use a portion of the net proceeds from the offering to repay or repurchase at or prior to maturity its existing convertible notes due April in 2022. That's what they're doing. The company also amended its revolving credit facility to extend the covenant relief suspension period through the fourth quarter and amend and remove certain financial covenants applicable after the suspension period ends and permit the issue of new convertible notes and certain hedging transactions to be entered into connection therewith. These transactions are described in more detail below. So they're making financial arrangements and organizing themselves because remember, the company came out like a hot ball of fire way back when, and the stocks reached a very high level, a lot of excitement, and then the company was not able to execute their financial results that people had given them. That people thought these guys were going to make a ton of money issuing these Groupon certificates that people could take advantage of. And a lot of people used Groupon certificates. A lot of retailers got into it, and it was a busy thing, but the net margins just weren't as good as people had thought because the cost of creating this company and the cost of doing all this, and it was higher than thought. So the stock really took a dump, and I probably got down to the $1, $2, $3 a share range from 100 a share or more. And they did a rollback, and they probably had to do a lot of new financing to regurgitate themselves and survive, reorganize their business, all new management, and they're now beginning to be able to raise fresh cash from a very eager market that has tons of cash floating around. And even Groupon can now raise money for very little cash to amend old banking alignments to free themselves up, to borrow more money and grow their business again and become a larger company. So in the end of it, the company will be better off. The question is, the shareholders, will they be better off or not? And so this is what seems to be going on. I'm not going to read this multiple page thing about what's happening here, but I can tell you that the company is definitely into reorganizing themselves to improve their credit abilities, be able to raise money. Unfortunately, the shares are not reacting as solidly as maybe the company will perform down the road, because at the moment the stock's at $52 a share, down 10% on the day, which puts that company's stock in the restricted trading, short trading range today as well, and for tomorrow. Anyway, that's Groupon. We'll keep an eye on that one. I'm not recommending you buy the stock. I'm telling you, I'm still trying to figure out what they're doing, but this is telling me the kind of money that is sloshing around out there, the amount of cash that is out there. Irish Cowboy, thank you for becoming a new member. Coming back to GameStop about new money. People ask me all the time, I speculate all the time, will this company raise cash? Now that the financials are coming out tomorrow, and tomorrow night they're going to talk about their plans going forward, could it be that one of the planned announcements between now and the annual meeting of GameStop, which could be in May or June, whenever they announce this, might they also announce plans to raise cash? What might they announce plans to do a split of the stock? Might they announce plans? All kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're waiting on right here, and then we're going to see what comes up with it. Zaina, hey Bruce, why did hedge funds not attack the stock in the first place after shorting at the beginning instead of letting it rise until this point? Zaina, I think they tried to attack the stock. I think they tried to stop it from going up when it was $45 to $50. Way back 3.5 weeks ago, they tried desperately. They had to short another 50 million shares, I think, and it wasn't successful because the long buyers, hedge funds and retail investors, were buying up the stock at 44, 45, 46, 47, averaging down, paying with cash, looking for the corporate story long term, and they overwhelmed these guys. So they let it go. It went up to the 348 range. They started shorting up there, I guess, maybe between 275 and 350. They shorted a bunch more into a moving market and then tried to crash the market back to here. And maybe their average price is $120. Maybe that's where they're short now. They're not short at 40. They might be short at 120 or 140. And they're now toying with it here. I don't know. I don't know. The reason I don't know is because no short seller is obligated under any securities laws to reveal their short position. You have to reveal as an institutional investor all your long positions. So if you're long put contracts, which is actually a bet against the company, you have to reveal the long put contracts. You own those contracts. But if you're short stock, no one has to reveal a short position. Not a mutual fund, not a pension fund, index fund, hedge fund. No one has to reveal short positions at all. And that's where this black pool of uncertainty comes from. We're all wondering, why is it that there are 200 million shares of GameStop floating around out there, and the short position is declared at 20-something million shares by the New York Stock Exchange? How can that be? Because 20 million short plus 70 million outstanding is about 95 million shares. How can there be 95 million shares declared out there, but there's really over 200 million floating around? I'd like that answer. Zaina, I can't answer that question. We're all seeing the answer to that. Jesper, I saw GameStop had negative beta. What does it mean? Nothing. It's just a daily, intraday, inter-moment trading thing. It means nothing. Stonk, what do you think about the SPAC, the SPAC, FTCV merging with El Toro? I like it. Well, congratulations. You're buying into a deal that will own a foreign brokerage thing that probably is a platform trader. But Stock 101, I really don't know what the upside of the thing will be. I don't know what kind of issues El Toro has. I don't know what kind of liquidity problems they might have. Will they raise enough money? Is this going to get them enough money? Maybe it'll help them raise more money. They'll probably need to raise a lot more cash once the merger is done. Going forward, they will try perhaps doing convertible bonds into stock, or maybe they'll issue common stock to other investors at 12 or 14 or 16 or 20. I don't know how diluted it'll get. I don't know because I don't follow it very closely, and so I can't give you any more than that. So we'll see what's going on. Everything what's going on. Angela said, I thought I saw something from YouTube from Andrew More Money or Trey about Citadel being slapped with 11 lawsuits. I think it was Citadel, and I think Robinhood, and I think who else? There were a number of firms that are being nailed with all kinds of lawsuits because of the fact that they're not allowing customers to buy stock with cash. Yeah, all kinds of restrictions on this thing. All kinds of crazy stuff. Thank you, Stock. Thank you. Lance, a stock with a highly negative beta will tend to inverse the market. A very high negative beta is also rarely seen, which can indicate some monkey business going on as well. Yeah, I bought some VACQ this morning. Right on. Observe thyself. Angela, yep, it's several lawsuits against Citadel, Melvin, Schwab, TD, Ameritrade, Webull, all kinds of lawsuits. That's true. Sir Chris, Brew, a question about your merchandise. I only found stock markets with Uncle Bruce blue sign stuff and traveling with Bruce merch at Redbubble. I could not find the bagel shirts. These should be on my Redbubble store for my Redbubble store. Yeah, you should double check. Go to my homepage of this channel or Traveling with Bruce and click on the Redbubble link, and that should take you to the store. And then you should see if you can find these logo items. You might find like a picture of one item with this logo on it, this logo. And then below that item, there you might find other items available, and you click on that. And that's how you find all the other stuff that's available. I'm just guessing. I'm not sure what your problem is with that. It's a Redbubble thing. I don't know. All righty. Diamond, I don't think they really covered many, if any, of their original shorts. I think they doubled or tripled down. Well, I'm not sure if that's possible. I think back in January, whoever was short for the previous 2 years, a lot of those guys got back in between 15 and 30 and 40 bucks a share. And then some still were around, and when it went to the 100, 120 range, and probably bought back in there. But I think that those same shorters who lost some money back in January, they reloaded up. They got back into the game again, and they tried to short at 200 to 400 perhaps, and then they shorted as it came back down, thinking it's going back to 20. And so we'll short it all the way down, and they may have had an average at 100 a share by the time the stock reached $50 a share. And then they saw it sitting there for a while, and then they figured, well, we're not going to let it go over 50, so that if it goes back to 20, we'll short a bunch of stock at 50, and when it goes to 20, we'll buy it all back there, because by then everyone will have given up, and all these small investors will have been wiped out with margin calls, and we'll have a field day buying millions of shares at $20 a share. The nice guys that we are. We'll give everybody 10 cents on the dollar, and they'll lose 90% on their investment, or 80% or 60% or whatever it would be. But the shares didn't go below 38.50, and then they reached back into the 45 range, and then they started to tickle the 49.50 range again. And this is where these guys put up this wall of stock to keep it down there, and it didn't work. 50, 60, 70, 80 million. I mean, a lot of stock traded between $40 and $50 a share. Probably 150, 200 million shares would have changed hands. A lot of that was day trading in and out, but there were a lot of shorts still shorting at 50, 49.99, 49.50 to try to not let it go over that level so that it would cause the stock to collapse back to 20. Didn't work. And, here we are at 195 right now. Oh, Jen is here. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, but someone stole America. It's not there.
America is missing.
Skimmer horns are gone. Selkirks are gone.
The mountains around Creston are gone, replaced with some kind of a misty.
Snow globe.
We're a snow globe. We're in the middle of a snow globe right now. We're all fogged up. We don't see America from our house. So it's at the moment, America is not available for viewing at this time.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. You poor Americans. But then again, you Americans can't see Canada. Those in Idaho don't see the mountains up here. And so we've gone missing. So there's multiple missing country reports being filed all along the 49th parallel right now. Canada and the USA are both missing each other. And what are you going to do? We just got to look at photos. That's all we can do.
That's all we have.
Yeah, Jen.
Our memories.
Our memories are our fond thoughts of our American friends who are at the moment not available for viewing at this time.
Are they Idahoans?
Idahoans. I would think
Idahoan.
I would think Idahoans.
Idahoan?
Yeah, Washingtonians or Washingtonians, Montanans, North Dakotans, Minnesotans, Wisconsinites. Michiganers.
Maybe they're in Idaho.
I'm thinking of all the states going across that are bordering Canada. Michigonians. And then what we have south of Michigan, we have Lake Erie. We've got Ohioans, and then we have New Yorkers, because New York State. Then there's Pennsylvanians, because Pennsylvania, I think, is a sliver of shoreline. And then there's
could have just said Steelers.
Could have said Steelers.
Could have just said Steelers.
Steelers. And then there's Vermont, and there's New Hampshire, and there's Maine. I'm not sure if what other states border Canada up in the east over there, but we care about the Idahoans because we're just north of Idaho.
I know.
Right now we can't visit Idaho. And the Idahoans can't come up here. There are no U.S. plates on cars around here, and there's no Alberta plates or BC plates, British Columbia plates in the northern U.S. right now. So they're missing us. We're missing them. I can't get Costco ice cream because I can't get the Costco in Coeur d'Alene. It's a sacrilege.
They can't come up and use their large American dollar to shop in Canada.
That's right. Americans can't flash those American dollars up here and go, what can I get cheap up in Canada right now? Can't be doing it. No can do, unfortunately.
So this morning we have a new item on the menu that you could have a bagel, either a whole wheat bagel, I know, an everything bagel, or a sesame seed bagel with herb and roasted garlic cream cheese.
There's that.
That's the new item.
There's another new item.
No, that is the new item, was the cream cheese.
Well, I admit that's new.
He's so excited about it.
The other item is we happen to have deli meats.
Oh, yes, we do.
We have deli meats. Uncle Bruce was at the grocery store the other day, and he picked up some fresh cut beer sausage, Bavarian meatloaf in slices.
Oh, so good.
Oh, so good. And then Black Forest ham. And then Uncle Bruce the other day took a bagel, an everything bagel, and he took some
And just put everything on it.
honey mustard mayo,
Mayonnaise, okay.
and spread honey mustard mayo on the bagel, and then put the deli meats on top and spread some more honey mustard mayo inside the deli meats to kind of,
And then topped
moisten it up, and then put the bagel on. Didn't even have cheese. I just had it without cheese.
What about your lettuce? You didn't add lettuce?
No lettuce, no greens. No green.
No.
Go figure that guy.
That's weird.
Yes, I did.
I could offer you a slice of Havarti.
Havarti. See, there's Havarti cheese too.
Or
See?
cheddar.
Or cheddar. Or there's grape jelly. Or there's
So what's it gonna
what's
be?
it gonna be today? Or there's an egg. I mean, it's the
It's endless.
the endless possibilities. But I think we should finish off those all-in-one bagels. I think we have one or two of those left from that
Okay.
original package
Okay.
because they were tasty. So
They
I
are.
Could, I could finish that
Because
one
it's
off.
an onion bagel to start with. And then it just has all the stuff on top.
Boy, YouTubers have it tough, huh? We could do that, and then I was thinking, what should I get? Should I get get the deli meat special or get the jelly bagel or
What
man?
you gotta taste? You going
hungry.
sweet? You going protein?
See, yeah, I think I need protein.
Protein. Okay.
I'll do the
protein.
meat thing.
Meat.
But how about a slice of Havarti
Okay.
with that?
Nice white creamy.
You know, so
Okay.
that mayo.
You want the meal?
That honey
Okay.
garlic honey. Is it honey garlic or
No,
honey?
it's honey mustard.
Honey mustard mayo with a
It's
slice
quite
of
good. It's very
Havarti,
tangy.
and then the beer
Lots of
sausage,
mustard.
some Bavarian, and some Black Forest. Little. It's like a an assorted cold cuts on a bagel
Okay.
with a Havarti and that mayo. Man, what a combination!
There you go.
All toasted up,
Okay.
yummy.
Yummy.
Oh, we're going for it. Oh man, I'm excited. I mean, if that doesn't make GameStop go up, what does a guy have to do on the air live in front of his viewers to do everything in his power to get the GameStop shares going with this kind of a bagel? I mean, and with Jen at the helm putting it together, no excuses for this not working out. I mean, guys, I'm doing everything I can. Thank you, Squirrel Swirler. Steeler Country equals Yingzers or Jagon. Debs are fighting words. No, it's going to get you in big trouble with Jen. It's getting you in big trouble. Bruce reminds me of my dad. Can you all see Bruce slightly dancing in his chair? Yeah, get both meatloaf sandwich with mustard, American cheese, and hot sauce. Oh man, is there anything better having leftover meatloaf where the next day you cut a slice off, maybe a 1/4-inch slice, and you get a pan, you put butter in there, you melt the butter in a pan, and then you fry up a slab of meatloaf, flip it over, and have that as leftover. Now, whether you have that just with some eggs, so you're having meatloaf and eggs maybe on toast, you take the toast with butter on it, put the meatloaf on there, then the eggs on top of that, and a little ketchup on the side or whatever your whatever your side is. I mean, is that like heaven on a stick or what? I mean, oh man, that is good stuff. Of course, you can always just take a big fat bun, a crusty bun, cut it in half, put the mayo on there, what kind of flavored mayo you want with mustard, then a slab of meatloaf that you've refried up in butter, and on top of that with a slab of cheese on the, oh man, oh yeah, that's hard. That is poor people's food at the highest level. I mean, that's just as good as it gets. All this food talk is getting me ready for a munchie inducement. Everything bagels is my favorite. Yes, indeed. Observer Everett Seahawk, it rained here every weekend this winter. I'm over the rain. Laugh out loud. I need some sunshine for hiking. Man, oh man, oh man. What do we got here? Can you stop talking about food? My money is all tied up in GameStop, man. You gotta just talk GameStop. Stop talking about food. Hey, we're trying to help GameStop make a run here. The kind of diet that I'm working on here has had somewhat positive effects. We're trying. We're doing all we can. It's not easy. It used to be a lot easier. It's not that easy anymore. Here we go. Meatloaf sandwich with mustard, American cheese on hot sauce. Oh, yeah, baby. Do you like everything bagel? It's Monday. Start strong, Bruce. Deli meats and all. Jessica's laughing. Sarah, meat and jelly. You're a savage. No, no jelly. No. Nice white cream. You two are killing me here. You have to try New York bagels. They taste like nowhere else. I know, but I can't get to New York City right now. If you've kind of noticed, this 4'8" person, this small man, this tiny little guy, I'm locked into my house. I'm only 4'8". That's why I can hardly see. You can hardly see. You believe me, don't you? You believe me that I'm 4'8" tall, don't you? I'm like Danny DeVito, right? You believe me, right? I'm just a small little guy. Believe me, right? Okay. Anyway, I can't get to New York City. We can't get there. I want to get there badly, but I can't get there. Vaping, and now I'm hungry. You watch yourself. I'm in Jersey. Everything's bagel is savage. What a great day. Laughing out loud. Oh, yeah. Sweat and meat. Meat sweat. My name is Jonas. Nice job, man. Now I'm hungry again. Bagel Indies is the new VIX. It's only Monday, Bruce. Jen is awesome. Wow, now I'm hungry. Guys got to eat. I mean, YouTubers have to eat, otherwise we run out of gas. You're doing all you can, Bruce. You're doing everything you can. GameStop's got to go up. 195. It's got to go up. We love Jen. Eat 2 bagels. Smorgasbord. It's a Jen special. Wisconsin cheese curds. Oh, that would be on poutine. Oh, that would be good. SNDL, buy the dip. Wow, that bagel conversation was pure love. Bagel index is the new VIX. Javier, them be fighting words. Oh man, stock. What can you talk about? How hedge funds run together? Why one doesn't break with the others? They're talking about. Well, they do that. They are in competition. But hedge funds don't go out of their way to fight other hedge funds. There's so much room in the market. There's so many places to go and invest. You don't need to worry about the competition of a hedge fund necessarily. What you do from time to time is you see market opportunities, and you come across a market opportunity that shows itself to you that says, if you pick up this GameStop stock just when they release their financials in the aftermarket tomorrow night, perhaps, or in the pre-market Wednesday morning, you listen to the conference call, what these guys are saying before the rest of the world's media picks up on the GameStop future. You might want to move into the stock, no matter what the price of the stock is. Get in there, because as this news is absorbed and understood and comprehended, the shares could be recommended to many, many hundreds of dollars of shares higher than where they are now over the next 2 or 3 years. Well, there could be a trading opportunity. Well, there's hedge funds that take advantage of trading opportunities all the time. Whether other hedge funds are on the other side or not, it doesn't matter. So yeah, don't worry about what one hedge fund does against another. It's not important. It really is. Top off that bagel with the bits of black pudding for crispy texture. Corey, Bruce is so excited to order bagels from Jen. He was dancing in his chair. Just bought 2 more before the takeoff. Deli Havarti. Oh man, that sounds good. Like caramelized onion jam, ham of some variety, some form of sharp cheese. Oh man, I can't wait to find love like that. That, folks, is how partnerships work. Does DoorDash cross the border? 1 bagel to order, please. No can do. Short the stock will make it go up. There is not. I love you, Connor. The stock market right now is like watching paint dry. Yeah, there are days. Meatloaf is God. Now, Sarah Crew, now you're talking. Nothing better with Heinz ketchup. Yes. All kinds of comments here. I can't keep them up. I can't keep the computer just snapped the head on me. Thank you, Cindy, for this donation. Heichel Bruce, we are called Michiganders. I actually live outside of Detroit, which is north of the Canadian border. Michiganders.
A Michigander.
A Michigander.
Like a goose and a gander.
A goose and a gander, a Michigander.
So what's good for the Michigan goose
is good for the gander?
The Michigan gander.
I don't know.
Michigander. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Here it is. Bagel. Meat. Oh.
Meat. Now, I just put a light schmear.
Schmear?
A schmear of the Zenth on the one side. So would you like a little dish of more to dip in? Or?
No, probably not. Probably okay. Good? We'll give it a try.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Jen.
You're welcome.
This is fantastic. Jen has set me up, man. This is awesome sauce.
I'll be watching the mixed doubles curling.
She's going to watch the mixed doubles curling right now. Is that 4 or 2?
That's 2.
So 2 curlers, male, female.
So the curler who throws the rock jumps up and runs down and sweeps their own rock.
There's no rest.
There's
the other
no
one.
rest.
The other one stands back there and screams, "Hurt!
Yeah.
Hurt!"
Or comes out and helps.
Or
them.
comes out and helps sweep. Yeah, that's men and women. Normally the guys are doing the sweeping. It's normally the guys that do the sweeping. It
Depends on if it needs strength or finesse.
Finesse, that's right.
Curling is a finesse game.
It is. It is a delicate finesse game with 25-pound rocks.
27, I want to say.
Yeah. So mixed doubles.
27, something like that. Yeah.
Does this look good? Where's GameStop at? 194.43 right now. Remember that number, folks. 194.43. Where's this GameStop going now? Let's see.
What do you think? Oh, is that worthy of at least a $2 bump? I would think.
How can GameStop be under $200 a share with a bagel like this?
With a bagel like this.
This makes no sense. Thank you, Miss Jen.
You're welcome.
You all love that. Bruce, you and Chris Sane, YouTuber, prolific for calling stock plays accurately with his subscribers' entry price when excellent. Need to sit down together and chat. You two are by far the best stock channels. I appreciate that. And my best wishes to all of Chris Sane's viewers. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're making a lot of money. Like we all want to be making money. JC, Jen sounds nice, but thank God for curling. More GameStop talk. That's right, curling. Jen is the best. Bruce for Prime Minister. It's penny stock. Bagel with Montreal smoked meat, mustard, and a pickle. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. But if you're going to rough it, if you're going to really rough it, what's right? 174.79 on GameStop. Low of the day, 189. Let's see what happens with GameStop. Does it want to go up or down? 194.23 right now. Down $6. Okay. All righty. Let's see what's going on. Curling will blast your quads. All right. Let the man eat. Don't stain that new shirt. How come every time I join this website, Bruce is munching? Because you join the website at the same time every day. And I must be it. Or you just sense hunger and you're that's what's happening. Scroller, no idea. I don't know where you live. I don't know what country you're part of. I don't know what tax regime you have to worry about. That one, you're on your own on that one, my friend. I do not know. I hope, though, you have massive tax problems for making all that money. That's what I want to hear. That would be fine with me. Thank goodness for that. Thank you, everybody. Curling stone, kind of shaped like a bagel. It's got like a handle on it, right? Isn't it a bagel with a handle on it, made of granite? Love Bruce's tips, but man, this guy has got the best YouTube skills. Thank you. I hope that you're referring to me. Thank you. Doing what I can. I'm hungry now. I'm on a diet. Joe George. Oh no. Oh man. Oh man. Dow's still up 52, 53. S&P up 23, NASDAQ up 149. That's where we are. GameStop 194.32, very quiet. Volume on GameStop right now is 4.2 million shares. So quiet. AMC 1190 down 203. The AMC low today 1176. It's right there. 49 million traded today. GameStop 194.77. Is it coming up? I'm eating a bagel here. Come on, GameStop. Let's go, man. I'm working here. Ryan, thank you for becoming a member. Watching me eat a bagel. Perfect timing. Not much to get excited about with this big market, isn't it? It's just very quiet Monday here. Although I got to say, Vector Acquisitions VACQ up $1.37 to $12.97. I hope a bunch of you picked these up. If you picked up these SPACs that I've been recommending, I hope you're getting them. VACQ $12.99, almost $13 a share. NAV Site Holdings up 11 to 10.48. I'm very happy about that. Even Gore Holdings is only down 32 cents now. It's coming on. Virgin Group down 3. A little bit deal here, 10.43. A little goodbye. Thank you. A Starboard Value down a penny, 10.05. Fortress Value 9.98. 2 cents under the issue price. Bargains. Virtually no risk there at all. At least I don't think so. I think he's going to be doing very, very well. But really happy about that Vector acquisition. That's interesting. It's moving already, because the deal isn't finished. I mean, it's being done, but it's not done. It's very good. Wally's World, for new followers, it took me 3 months full-time research to see it. Bruce is cool as a cucumber for a reason. He knows it too. Bagel, really good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the time to buy GameStop. Yeah, in this game, the impatient lose. Exactly, exactly. I can't answer this question. I don't know if this is true or not. With short squeezes, there are short squeezes that last 10 minutes. Some last a half a day. Some last 4 or 5 days. Some can be a long drawn out ordeal for months and months and months. These battles, they have a life of their own, every single one of them. So I don't know. Every time I hear Bruce say, what can I say? I hear The Rock singing, except you're welcome. Brittany picked up 5 more GameStop today. Way to go. My lunch was a slice of Gouda. I just love how you're chilling out right now. I just love how we're all chilling. Loose equals not tight. The stock market is a device for transferring money from impatient to patient. Warren Buffett got that right. Diamond, patience is the only virtue that's also a key to profit and success. I'm up 60% of my portfolio. What's the possibility that Disney buys AMC? The meeting is May 4th, Star Wars Day, and they own all the rights to Marvel, Star Wars, Disney. I don't think it's allowed. I don't think Disney can buy AMC. Those of you who are, well, in reality, virtually everybody alive now wasn't around when it happened, but back in the, I think in the 20s and the 30s, movie companies used to own the theaters. So they had it all. They made the movie, They owned the actors under contract. They could not act for anyone except for Warner Brothers or Paramount or whatever the movie companies were of the day. Back in the day, they were all under contract, 7-year contracts minimum. You have to make 1 or 2 movies a year for 7 years. The movie was made by the studio, would be distributed by the studio into studio-owned movie theaters. Disney cannot buy AMC. They're not allowed. That's been kicked out by the RICO Act, the Anti-Competition Act. So theater owners have to be independent of studios. That's why AMC will not be taken over by any creator of product. There you go. Hologram. Sounds good. This is caffeine-free Diet Coke. It's not coffee or tea. I call this brown fuzzy water. Caffeine-free Diet Coke. That's it. I do have a coffee in the morning though. Before I go on the air, I have a coffee. Why? I had no idea. The fact that AMC wanted to lose shares for short-term gain, hype shows that wanted per-term profit, long-term stability. Well, this comment right here. AMC is not diluting their stock, or they're not authorizing. They're not getting authorization to go from 500 million outstanding to $1 billion outstanding for a quick gain. There's nothing to gain here. Shareholders are not going to make a lot of money or get richer because the company is going from 500 million to 1 billion shares. That is not the reason this is being done. The reason this is being done is that the bankers, the guys who've been lending this company $6 billion, the lenders, whether they're pension funds, hedge funds, any other funds who've been lending money to AMC, have been telling them, here are the terms and the conditions that we will lend you this money to keep you alive. And the terms and conditions are varied. There have been a bunch of them. And one of them was the group, the China group that had 48% of the vote because they owned all those Class B shares. They got to collapse those over to Class A's. Now they're down to 9.9% of the vote. The second one was the stock authorization. We want you to authorize 500 million more shares so that you can issue another 500 million if you need to. Then it could well be that in a month from now, the company is going to announce a $500 million fundraiser with a bond that's convertible into stock at $10 a share, $12 a share, $8 a share. I don't know. Don't know what price. But I can tell you that if it's $10 a share, it's 50 million shares that have to be available for the conversion to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, however long this thing is. There wasn't enough stock left over to do it. They had to increase the float. The other factor is if there's a secondary shutdown, if there's another shutdown in the Northeast because of the variants and a whole bunch of theaters get shut down, they might need 50 million a month for 5 more months just to pay bills up there. They're going to need to raise another $250 million. That might be from a stock issuance of 25 million shares at $10 a share, or 50 million shares at $5 a share. I don't know. If this happens, it's bad news. And bad news means stocks go down that are like AMC. You can't get people in to see a movie. You're not making any money. You're not bringing any cash flow. You're burning cash. You're going to need to issue more stock to stay alive. Hence why the bankers are going, you have to be able, if necessary, to issue up to another 500 million shares to survive. We as bankers are telling you that's the deal. We're not asking you. We're telling you that's what because you owe us $6 billion bucks. And we might be lending you another billion over the next year to hang around. That will be 7 billion bucks. We want you to be able to pay us back. And maybe it'll be a convertible stock, or maybe you'll issue stock at 10 bucks a share for 300 million shares and bring in $3 billion, and you'll give it all to your bankers and go from 7 billion owing to 4 billion owing. That might be the deal. That might be the solution to the company's long-term problem of high interest rates on debt that they're issuing out. That could be it. But bad news for the common shareholders, because now there are 800 million shares floating around, or 700 floating around, instead of 400 or 500 floating around. That's the bad news. What's the stock doing? Down $1.97. The market knows it. The market can feel it. They know, oh man, this is bad news. We're going to be diluted again. The market is telling me it's down to $1.98. I didn't make it go there. It's down to $1.98. Anyway. I'm not sure about Amazon not being able to buy AMC. I mean, Amazon does create content, but they might be classified under the RICO Act as a studio, and that might be prevented in court. Yeah, it's shaky. Yeah, I'm not sure. But Universal can't buy them, Paramount can't buy them, Fox movie theaters, they can't buy, Disney can't buy them. No movie theater can buy a movie chain. Cannot do it. Thank you, Rockhead. It's all me. You know it's all me. Oh. SPACs are here. The first two listings, GHVI, VGAC, those are the two. And then the last four, come on down here, right down here, SVAC, FAII, VACQ, and NSH. Those are the ones. So take a screenshot of this picture. Those are the stocks that I'm recommending, or that I like. The SPACs are in there. There's 6 of them. There's an ETF in there. And check them out. Check them out yourself. A lot of people doing due diligence on my list. Aaron, Bruce, why don't you just admit it? Why are you pussyfooting around here? Why don't you just come out and say it? Just say it. Just come out and say it right now. It's your fault that AMC went down. You have ultimate power over the stock market, and specifically AMC. You're the one. You did it. Don't be, don't skirt the issue, Bruce. Just, Anyway. It's always Bruce's fault. There you go. Is that a grill behind you? This right behind me, this dome, there, right? That? No, that's my stereo. That's my stereo from when I was a high school student. That is my Electra Home stereo. Check this out. I mean, we're talking high tech in 1974, you guys. Here we go. Check that baby out right there. That is an AM FM stereo record player that I bought, Electra Home, with the space age speakers. You can see one of them right over my shoulder over here, right there. This one right over here. Let me move this out of the way if I can. Everything might fall over. There's a speaker right there. round space age with a space age dome. And this was my primary music unit from 1974 forward, and I've had it ever since. It's an absolute love this unit. Kind of dusty right now, unfortunately, but my AM FM stereo radio a record player. You could also buy one of these with an 8-track. Yeah, AM FM stereo 8-track and a record player. 8-track, man. No, I didn't get that one. That's what that is, not a grill. Yeah. Apparently, I've seen these for sale on eBay for like $800. Unbelievable. I didn't pay $800 for it, but it was a fortune. I think I paid in 1974. I think I paid $220 for this thing. 74. That's serious money. You could rent an apartment in 1974, a 1-bedroom apartment furnished for $160 a month. I paid more than a month's rent on this, living in my mom and dad's house. Yeah, that was a present to myself one summer when I worked at a car factory for a summer, putting together car parts. A job I don't wish on anyone, which most jobs don't exist anymore in North America. These jobs, if they exist, they're in, well, maybe Mexico, but they're probably in Asia somewhere. But at that time, you could graduate high school or not, and you could get a job at a car plant making these parts. And the minimum wage in those days was about $1.25 an hour in those days. Mind you, a gallon of gas was 65 cents. So, think about that. Gas 65 cents, and you're making $1.20 an hour minimum wage. Think about today, gas is $3 a gallon, and you're making $7-8 minimum wage or whatever. Okay. In any event, I was working at this car plant, and I was making $3 an hour up to $8 an hour in 1974. And I worked at this place for 3.5 weeks. And when I got my paychecks, I bought myself a brand new 10-speed bike, and I bought myself a brand new stereo right there. And then I had my AM FM stereo radio. I used this through my college years in Toronto. Had this with me when I moved to Calgary with me for Jen and I. And here it is right here. We rarely use it. It's really here, just sitting here as my little trophy from way back when. But I will never sell it. It is a connection back to the 17-year-old, the 17, 18, 19-year-old Bruce. It might have even been 73. Could have been 1973 I bought this thing. Yeah, even 73. That's a long time ago, and it still works. I've just lovingly taken care of it. I've moved it a zillion times. I'm the one that packs it up and unpacks it. No one touches it, and it always works. And wow, Electrohome, built in Canada, made in Canada, way back when. Anyway, those are days. But that job, oh my gosh. I saw guys who were there lifers, 20 years at that job, missing fingers, half a finger here, part of a finger here. And these press machines, you get the finger out there. Then by the time I joined, the union had rules for protection, and I had to wear gloves over my hands that would have the fingers exposed. So I'd have like a glove covering this, and then there would be a wire attached to each glove, which was attached to the press machine. So when you put the metal into the die, the press machine can't run because there's infrared sensors that there's movement in the die. The machine won't move. Even if you hit the button, nothing happens. You put the metal piece in there, get your hands out, got to wait a second. Then you had to use 2 hands to hit 2 buttons, and you had to hold the buttons down for the machine to go all the way down and then go up, and then you could let your hands out. And while you did that, the cables were being pulled so that you couldn't you couldn't take your hands anywhere else. You couldn't bring them over here. You couldn't put them in the machine. Now it was idiot proof to not get your hands squashed by the press. Whereas in the 50s and the 60s, there were guys who lost arms and hands and because of the lax rules at workplaces. But by the time I got there, no summer student coming in here was ever going to be at a machine where there was even a hint that they were going to get in trouble with getting injured. So under those conditions, I would work, but dirty and noisy and unfulfilling. Oh God, the money was good, but 3.5 weeks, I tolerated it for the money. That was it. And I said to myself, I think I'll go back to school and study and not do this for a full-time living, because I had friends of mine that I knew, classmates in grades 6 and 7 and 8, who ended up at places like this making big money at age 20, 21 without a formal education, not even a high school education. They were making $20,000, $30,000 a year, and 72, 3, 4. Car was $8,000. They were making 2.5 cars a year in money. Yeah, it was good money. And then through the 70s and into the 80s, but by the end of the 80s and the 90s, it was all over, because now car companies figured out we can get parts made elsewhere without all these union guys making all this money in North America. They priced themselves out of the market, and that's what happened. Mr. Seneca, thank you for becoming a member of this channel. Thank you. Love that you're here. It's funny how certain things in your house take you back in time. And this is pre-Jen. This is pre-Jennifer of my life. The 10-speed bike is long gone, but this stereo endures, and there you go. Anyway, what's on your turntable right now? A Beatles record. A Beatles record is on there right now. 25 to 6 to 4 definitely was being played in the early days. No question about that. 97. I started out at $5.50 an hour. Wow. My minimum wage was well done, son. Yeah, I worked for my dad too. In the music store, I would get $1.50 an hour. In the factory there, I was getting. They were giving me 300% jobs, 300%ers, which gave you their minimum wage was $3.33 an hour in the factory. I would get $9.99 jobs, so I would make $9.99 an hour in 1972-3 to do a job, and it's because the union guy liked me, because I didn't complain. I did what I was told. I worked harder than I needed to, and he would say, "You're always here. You're never late. You never complain. I got a job for you." And the last week I worked at that place, he gave me what is called a 300%er, guaranteed $9.99 payout per hour for all 37 weeks or 37 hours of that week, whatever it was. So I made $370 gross in a week, less union fees, and some deductions from tax, which I got as a refund later anyway. But that paid for that, easily paid for that. And my bike was about $150 as well. Oh gosh, those were the days. Oh my gosh. Thank you everybody so much for bringing back memories and hanging around with me. MNW YouTube member, thank you for joining. 195 on the stock. We're not going anywhere. We're just hanging around. I think I know why. I know exactly why. The numbers come out tomorrow. We got the financials tomorrow. We got the big press conference tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and so I'm really not expecting anything to happen today. They're not gonna say anything. 4.6 million traded. That's it. Unless there's an attack on the stock by short sellers to try to drive the market down, it'll do them no good, because there are so many people out there looking to buy this on a dip in anticipation of tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday's reaction to tomorrow. So I don't see a lot happening. I think it's just going to be a little bit of water, treading water right now as we kind of wait out this next series of announcements. Oscar Voss has become a YouTube member. Thank you, Oscar, for joining in. Appreciate this. That's what I kind of sense happening. We've got 3,700 thumbs ups today. I want to thank you guys for this so much. 3,700 up. We have about 178 on the downside. So we're 20 to 1 roughly on the pluses versus the minuses. So thank you, those of you who are giving me thumbs ups. Keep them coming in as we try to get over 4,000 now. Stay ahead of that 20 to 1 number if possible. I do appreciate this, everyone. It is so kind of you and so supportive of this channel. I really appreciate it. Those are becoming sponsor members. Man, I love you guys. Thank you for coming in here. All the sponsor members who are commenting all day long here. It's really great commentary. We are definitely way ahead on this channel than we were maybe a little while ago. Mirko, hey Bruce, Sicilian followers here. Can you say ciao to Gio Como and Antonella Tassia? I don't know how well I did that, but I hope that worked out for you. Ciao, you guys. Guemo, Giacomo, and Antonella. It's easier said than done. G&A, welcome to the show. Glad you're here, and thank you for your support of this little old YouTuber here in Canada. We're one of the smaller YouTube channels. We're growing quickly. More and more folks are finding us, and I love it. As of August 2020, film studios can now own theaters again, says Mackenzie. I don't know about that. Well, maybe you're right. I don't know. Wally, for a few new followers, took me 3 full months research to see it. Bruce is as cool as a cucumber for a reason. Thank you, all of you guys, for these comments. Love you guys. 3,900 thumbs ups. They're coming in. Eric Custer is here too. Eric, thank you, buddy. Oscar Voss, MNW, guys, thank you for coming. Members, and Mr. Seneca, of course, I've already mentioned. This is awesome, man. You just blow my mind. Love you guys. 3,900 thumbs ups. So close to 4,000. So close. I can taste it. Are we going to make 4,000 thumbs ups in just a minute or two? Is it going to happen? That would be really nice, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Get me to 4,000 thumbs ups, guys. Let's do it. Absolutely do it. Stock, GameStop, 195.21, down $5. Nothing to speak of there. AMC, 12.16, down $1.78 or so. There it is, 4,000 thumbs up. Just got it, guys. Thank you. 21-to-1 ratio between like and dislike. That is fabulous. That is really a sign of support of this channel. I thank you all. Chino, thank you for that. All those emojis you're using there. I hope you're enjoying your emojis now, guys. We'll keep bringing new ones into you. We're slowly but surely developing more emojis that you can play with. And you can have fun with them here, and you can have fun with them in the comments section if you're making just a regular comment. I thank you all for using these. It's just tremendous. Showing support of this channel. Even after hours. Fabulous. New members, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for having faith in me and coming on board. Love that. It's just beautiful. Also, those of you who are subscribing to this channel, thank you for subscribing to Stock Markets with Bruce, hitting the bell notification icon. That means the world to me too. Jen is constantly just stunned and amazed as to how many of you become subscribers to this channel. 104,501 now. We had a little drop off when the AMC thing took over, but we're past it now. And we're growing again, and we're moving up the rankings on YouTube with 104,500 thumbs ups. Members are coming in, and I am just delighted that you guys are supporting us. What do we got here? Oh, this is awesome. Got a donation here from Saki Fit. Thank you, Saki, for this donation on my PayPal account. He says, Uncle Bruce, subscriber, Saki Bomb right here. I work from home and I care for my little brother that's special needs. He gets excited to listen to you every morning. Every time you say GameStop, he yells, "That's the ticket, Uncle Bruce." It's so funny and cute. Thank you for bringing a smile to his sweet face each morning. Can you give him a shout out? We'll call him Frederick B. Whippersnapper nickname. Thank you so much for bringing laughter in the morning. Best wishes to you and Jen. Frederick B. Whippersnapper, thank you for watching me. Appreciate that. GameStop, we're going to the moon, baby. This is good stuff. Let's hope it happens. That's the ticket, Uncle Bruce. I love it. That's pretty cute. Thank you for being here. That is fantastic. This is so cool. I find this pretty cute. Thank you so much. I'll see if I can get this up here. I'm not sure if I can fit this all in. It's a pretty long message. Oh, man, this is great stuff. Fantastic. Oh, man, I got to edit here. I got to do all kinds of editing. I'm not sure if I can get this figured out here. Oh, man. Let's see if I can do it this way. What do we got there? Oh, we're just about there. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go. There's the shout out right there. I've edited it heavily, but I got it out. So fantastic, guys. There you go. Every time you say GameStop, he yells, "That's the ticket, Uncle Bruce." It's so funny and cute. Thank you for bringing a smile to his face each morning. We call him Frederick B. Whippersnapper. Right on, man. Thanks for supporting us and being here. That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you, guys. He ain't selling. Frederick ain't selling. That's super. Frederick knows the way. Thank you. He's laughing. He's laughing. How adorable. Frederick B. Whippersnapper. Right on. That is great, Frederick. Fantastic, guys. Uncle Bruce, the chat is locked for me. I'm a subscriber. So thank you, guys. Bruce, I've become a fan of the SPAC since listening to you. What are your thoughts on JWS merger with Cano Health set to close next month? No, nothing about it, Mr. Senegal. I have no idea about it, so I can't comment. Don't know anything about this one. When I come up with more, you'll hear more from me. We'll do what we can. So wholesome and fun. We love Uncle Bruce. GameStop, Frederick. GameStop, baby. We're going. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Folks, I'm over my allotted time this morning. We're up to 3 hours, 9 minutes. I'm going to take some time off here and come back at you this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be here for the final hour of trading and the first hour of aftermarket. And we'll hang out with you then and see where we're at. We're going to stay on top of this story here for obviously GameStop and AMC and everybody else. See where the markets take us. At the moment, the Dow is up 64.9. S&P is up 27. NASDAQ up 173. That's a good sign for NASDAQ. I'm glad to see that. Oil unchanged right now. GameStop 194.77 up down 550. 195 right now. AMC 1222 down 171. The Vector acquisitions up $1.12 to 1272. It did reach today 1317. Took a bit of a run today. Down here it's still a buy. If it backs off a bit more and you haven't gone in there, you may want to scoop it when you can. But keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll go down to the mid 12s or low 12s. NAV Site Holdings NSH is up a dime at 1046. And then we have Gore's Holdings down 35 cents, 1564. VGAC, Virgin Group Acquisition Corp, VGAC, 1043 down 3 cents. Starboard Value at 1004 and Fortress Value at 998. They're just about at the initial issue price. Then we have Vanek Vectors up 557. The computer chip companies up 557. Home Depot down 340. IBM up 73 cents. Microsoft up 574, having a good day today. Apple up 245, up almost 2% too. And then Tesla up $35 today. Very good market there at $690 a share on Tesla. BlackBerry down 7 cents to 1089. Bed Bath & Beyond down $1.08 to 30.50. And then over at Royal Caribbean and Norwegian and Carnival, they're all off today. 90 cents, 60 cents, a buck a share. Not much to speak of there. The cruise shares are not reacting positively to the news this weekend that one ship for Royal Caribbean and one ship for Celebrity will be sailing out of the Caribbean. There's no news about ships sailing out of Cozumel, no news of ships sailing out of Barbados. And so it's very sporadic right now. Nothing coming out of the USA and nothing expected from where I sit for quite some time. There you have it. That's where we're at right now, guys. Thank you for joining me this morning on this show. I appreciate it very much. All of you who've subscribed today, become members. You're subscribing and members and super chats. Love you to death. Thank you. And the thumbs ups, keep them coming, guys. I appreciate those as well. Very kind of you to help out this channel. 4,100 on the thumbs up button right now. That is beautiful. Appreciate that. And we will hope for even more thumbs ups and a better market. I'll be back at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Don't go anywhere, and we'll spend a couple hours together this afternoon following what's going on. And if you're a TWB member, Traveling with Bruce follower, I got 2 live shows coming up there. 7 o'clock for sponsor members, 8 o'clock for the wide open channel. Anyone can join me at 8 o'clock tonight on Traveling with Bruce. 4 live shows by yours truly today. This is number 1. We'll get ready for show number 2 at 3 o'clock this afternoon. All right, that's it. Thank you all for joining me, and have a pleasant morning, and catch you in the afternoon at 3 o'clock. And we'll see where the markets want to take us from here. Okay, guys, thank you. See you later. Bye for now.